Welcome to Breeders' Cup Live, everybody. Today, it's just me. Terry's at the Breeders' Cup. Hopefully, he'll join us at some point, and we can talk a little bit about it. Sean's going to join us as well, so we're going to cover at some point. He says he's going to join us. Hopefully, he lives up to that promise. But I'm looking forward to it. We're going to cover every single race. We're going to do like we always do, look at the early pace figures, late pace figures, talk a little bit about track bias, all of the above, and see if we can work together to find some winners on this big day of big money pools. Hopefully some big tickets, right? So the first race that we're going to talk about today is race 7. Obviously, there is a big favorite. This is the Breeders' Cup, Filly and Mare Sprint. There's a big favorite in Gamine, right? The morning line favorite. Right now, Gamine is on the board at 2-5. So the question is, how can anybody beat Gamine? Looking at the track in terms of Del Mar's previous meet, the bias for 7 furlongs on the main track, favored horses that had some speed. So let's talk about every horse in this field and how they might be able to get a leg up on Gamine. Gamine needs the lead, or at least has been on the lead, and has intimidated horses by being on the lead. So the question is, can anybody beat Gamine to the lead? And then if they can they maintain that lead and hold Gamine off? And I feel like if Gamine doesn't get the lead, she could be discouraged. So I think if you have a 2-5 horse, even in a great field like this, as a horse player, you want to try to beat Gamine. I think everybody would agree that that's probably the case. So let's look at the early pace and late pace figures and see if there's a horse that might be able to pull off the upset. And lo and behold, according to my early pace calculations, Bella Sofia might actually be, and that's the 6 horse, the fastest out of the gate. And right now, Bella Sofia is 5-2. She is the second choice on the board. And I think the most likely one, obviously, so do the rest of the bettors, to get a chance to get the better side of Gamine. So looking at Bella Sofia recently, some of the things that I like, and one of the things that I've created on my own is what I call an alpha sheet. So in horse racing, for example, the average race has about 8 horses in it. So just mathematically speaking, a horse has a 1 in 12 chance to win. So that's, a 1 in 8 chance to win, 1 in 12. That's about a 12.5% chance to win. So any angle that hits above 12% in Wall Street lingo would create what's known as alpha. So return above the expected rate, right? So looking at Bella Sofia, I feel like she has some of the best alpha rankings, if you will. Last time out, she created a speed figure, which was the highest for this group, well above par for this level, as strong as this level is. She also won by more than 3 lengths. Actually, winning by more than a length is a key number in there. And she's had 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive speed figure increases and is likely to improve, according to her resume, in her second start off the break. So how does Bella Sofia win? She gets to the lead. She does have, as I mentioned, the early pace advantage over Gamine. And then if you look at the late pace advantage over here on the way home, Bella Sofia also has a late pace advantage. So if she can get in front of Gamine, I think she's a horse that has a chance to stay in front of Gamine. The next horse on the board is number 4, CC. It's a horse that last time out, in its second time off a layoff, was able to run one of its strongest speed figures, likely that it will improve in its third race after a layoff. That's what, that's basically the angle that players are looking at if they expect CC to pull off the upset. And when you look again at the alpha, what alpha has CC produced relative to the average winning horse, it's another horse that does have a speed figure above par, did win its last race by more than 1.5 lengths, and also is tied with Gamine and Estilio Talentoso, who is scratched for the top pedigree. So maybe CC is one that can surprise in there as well. Has a 1 trip over the Del Mar track, finishing 3rd. Maybe I would have liked to see a little bit better performance at the track, but at the distance, 2 wins and a 3rd. Edgeway is another one that the 3 horse that can, I feel, get to the lead or at least put a ton of pressure on Gamine early. She did run last time out at Del Mar. 6.5 furlongs was her lone trip at the track where the turf meets the surf. Got to the front, stayed at the front, and put together a pretty strong speed figure. Although it is, again, one that was above par for the distance, for the surface, and for the level. She also had some of the fastest early fractions, tied with Gamine in terms of what she's produced life to date. And in her last race, only she and Estilio Taliento were the two fastest out of the gate in terms of their opening quarter fractions. So if Edgeway can repeat that, she and Bella Sofia will give Gamine all she can handle on the early lead. As far as the one horse, then that leaves Proud Emma. Proud Emma, two wins, 2 seconds in 4 races at Del Mar. And that's probably about the only angles you can think of there for that horse, a potential horse for the course, as they're called. But she did not produce any alpha angles whatsoever at all. Parlay, Gamine with Medina Spirit. Bet what you can afford, Glenn. That's absolutely 100% correct. You never bet more than you can afford. So for me, looking at this race, I'm going to try to beat the Gamine, the heavily favored horse. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put on top Bella Sofia on top with Gamine and Gamine and Edgeway over CC. So it's going to be Bella Sofia Exacta with Gamine, CC, and Edgeway coming in second. That's how I'm looking at this first Breeders' Cup race on Saturday afternoon. Good luck with your picks, and hopefully all of them end up in the winner's circle. We'll see you when it goes official. Well, there you have it. Gamine does go down. Just picked the wrong one, right? Was in our group of horses. We definitely liked to have. We had CC in there as the closer. We mentioned it was one of the top closers in the field. The Gamine would be pressured. We just picked the wrong one to beat her. Unfortunately, should have went with the longer shot there, CC, instead of Bella Sophia, who went out and pressured to the outside of Gamine, edgeway up the rail. And then you had CC go widest of all and run by them all at the end with Edgeway then edging past Gamine, and then Gamine finishing third with Bella Sophia finishing fourth, which was kind of surprising to me. I kind of figured that if anybody was going to beat her, it would be Bella Sophia, but I mean, there's only 5 horses in that race, so you had to have 4 to 5 right. So the next race coming up is the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. It's a Grade 1 event. That's 5 furlongs on the turf track. It's going to be a lot of horses, deep field, a lot of horses to go through. Post time is probably about another half an hour from now. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll go over every single horse in the field, detail exactly how we think that horse can win, what its chances are to actually pull it off, and then go ahead and make our selections. If you did put CC on top of Edgeway, on top of Gamine, that 10-cent superfecta paid $13.93. The 4-3 exacta paid $55.50, and the trifecta $59.60. So certainly hope you had that one, folks. We'll try to get the next one where we have quite a few international horses taking their shot at the Del Mar Turf Course at 5 furlongs. It's a bit foggy and a bit cool out there, so I'm going to guess that the track is not as firm and fast in November as it would be in July or August, which could give the international horses a little bit more of an edge than we might have thought they would have had coming into today. So we'll talk about that about 20 minutes to post. Look forward to seeing you then. If you like what you see, kindly subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at Racing Radar or on Twitter at Racing Radar. Terry and I, who hopefully Terry will join us live from the set over there at Del Mar. We do a daily show where we do a pick 4, talk about the news. We certainly have plenty to talk about on Monday with that debacle at the end with the one horse at the last race of the Breeders' Cup yesterday. So we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to a good day here at Del Mar. See if we can find some nice winners together. Tell us what you like in the comment section. Share your thoughts on what horses you like, why you like them, and let's talk it out. See if we can find some winners. We'll see you about 20 minutes to post for race number 5, the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. So look who the cat drug in. We got Sean. Now this makes it a little bit easier, Sean. It's kind of difficult to run all this stuff by yourself. You know what I'm saying, Darren?
Oh yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it is indeed. So this next race here is race number 5. It is the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. It is a 5-furlong race on the turf course, Sean. So what have you learned so far from watching the races at the Breeders' Cup yesterday and today?
Well, you got a mixed bag. I mean, you're getting your price shots, but you're also, the superstars are coming out too. I mean, besides last race where McGean got beat, that kind of killed my momentum today. I had her singled on pick 5, and I got through the first 3, so kind of killed my momentum there. But
shot.
Yeah,
we'll have to overcome that shot. Let's go through this field, Sean. Let's talk a little bit about the horses here in race number 5. It's a 5-furlong race, so as you can imagine, speed is probably the way that horses get to the winner's circle. 5 furlongs on the grass at Del Mar. Let's take a look at what the early pace looks like. Of course, the horses at the bottom, the Glass Slippers, Emirati, Anna, and A Case of You are all foreign horses, so there's no data to tell you exactly how fast they're going to come out of the gates. So we'll talk about those horses and see what we like about them. But it looks like number 3, Golden Pal, could be the very fastest out of the gate. She does have a decent pace advantage over number 8, Caravel, and number 4, Lieutenant Dan. On the way home, the 9-horse Kamari looks like the 9 has a little bit of a late leg advantage over Gear Jockey and Fast Boat. Chaos Theory, who scratched into the race, also has a little bit of late kick to it. So depending upon how they come out of the gate might determine if some of the speed horses kind of die a little bit. And what do you think the early pace is going to be like, Sean?
I think it's going to be a hot pace. I mean, a lot of these horses, they do want the lead and they need the lead. So I was looking at a horse that's going to be close and doesn't need the lead, but will have speed, but won't need the lead and can capitalize on all the speed.
Well, let's talk about each horse down this field, Sean, on how you think it can win, and then we'll talk about which ones we think will win. So Glass Slippers actually, I think, won this race last year, Sean. So how can Glass Slippers be a defending, reigning champion once again?
I mean, this one, again, looks like it wants to go right out in the front from the rail, and I think it probably has no choice from the rail. So it's going to have to outkick the rest for the lead early.
What's interesting about this horse to me, Sean, and I know from working with Tom, looking at these international horses coming across the ocean, you kind of want to look at their record on a good track. And this horse on a good track debuted, won by a neck. Next time it had a good track, 5 furlongs at Goodwood. Second by 2 3/4 to Batash. Now that name may not ring a lot of bells around here, but believe me when I tell you that's a very good horse in England. Then in France, the horse on a good surface again won. Then it goes off to a heavy surface, finished second by a neck, so he could toss that out. Came here to Keeneland last year on a good surface and won, and did so closing, Sean. So it did not lead. It was, I think, the last of what was 10th out of 14 out of the gate. So, and then it's had a soft surface since last year, 3 races since last year. Soft surface, 3 by 4 1/4. Got a good one. Finished 3 by just 3/4. So this is a horse to me that looks like Sean might like a good going better than the soft footing. So I think it's one you have to consider for a chance to repeat.
I will say another thing I noticed about this horse is the number 6, A Case for You, has finished in front of it the last 2 races. So that's something I always look at too.
Herd animals for sure. Emirati Anna, Sean. Now this is a horse, if you look at its good track record, it's had 3 good races, 3 good tracks in a row, 1 by a head, second by 1 1/4, 1 by 2 1/2. Sean came off of a little bit of a break, found itself on a fast course, kind of struggled a little bit as 100-1 against Starman, Dragon Symbol, and Oxted, which are some 3 phenomenal horses over in Europe. So losing to them is not by 4 3/4 is really not as bad as that looks on paper, Sean, because Starman is about as good as they get. So tell me a little bit about what you think Emirati Anna is going to do.
So this horse has had a little bit of a longer break, almost two months off, and then also not as good at the distance as the one is. Other than that, I don't really got much. I don't know nothing about this jockey at all, or trainer.
I don't know much about them either. I just look at the horse, right? Because I've heard many times that horses carry jockeys across the wire. The jockeys don't carry the horses. Golden Pal, Sean, this is a horse that's, no question, one way to the winner's circle. Get to the front, stay in the front. Last time out, came back from England, where it did not run so well and finished well behind Emery Anna. And now it came back to the U.S. last time out at Keeneland. Ran 5.5 furlongs on a good track, won easily as the 50-cent favorite. Can it get in front of Emery Anna this time? How do you see this one making it to the winner's circle?
Well, it's going to have to go right out in front. And like I said, there's a lot of speed in here. So it'd be tough for me to take a small price on this horse with all the horses and all the speed. Also, it's 0 for 2 at the distance with only a second. So that would be the other concern.
Mm-hmm. Not a big fan of horses that haven't gotten it done at the distance before, huh, Sean?
Especially 5 furlongs. And that's a, short distance. You got to go get the lead. Some horses are really good at that. Some aren't.
But the inside, but I think being to the inside helps, though, because you don't have to clear everything to your inside to get to the post and save ground. Lieutenant Dan, Sean, this is a horse for the course. Well, sort of. A horse for the course in the distance. Been at Del Mar twice, 2 wins. Been at the distance 3 times, 3 wins, making its 4 start off a layoff, 3 wins in a row, 1 3/4 lengths, and a neck from winning 6 in a row. Horse has been done its best work by far on turf. Do you think the home guy can defend his turf, and how does she do it?
Well, she's going to do it by being close, he's going to be close to the pace, but not on the pace. So that's going to help his chances. 2 for 2 at Del Mar, 2 for 2 at the distance, like you said. And Giovanni Franco's an underrated turf jockey. So he's got a lot of things working to his favor here.
Yeah, I feel like that the horse, though, is one that I feel like he's a little bit better on the routes than he is on the sprints. Arrest Me Red has moved to the sidelines, if I remember correctly, right? Yes, he has.
Yes, yep.
A Case of You, there's the one, Sean, that you mentioned, has beaten Glass Slippers 2 in a row. Not by a whole lot, Sean. By a 3/4 of a length and ahead, 4 start off a layoff. When I look at this horse and seems of who is it run against, Dragon Symbol looks like, and Poetic Flare, those are the 2 best horses that it's faced in Europe, and they're both very good horses. So Case of You might be one that can make a case to be on your ticket.
Definitely. And like I said before, I definitely would prefer this horse over the one because it's beat him the last 2 times. So I don't see any difference here. Has a shot. I don't know about winning, though.
Yeah, when I look at this horse's good record, though, Sean, it's not as sharp as I'd like it to be. The last time it ran on good, it did finish second by a half a length. There's a 33 to 1 at odds, a 33 to 1. Romantic Proposal is a good horse. The only other time that the horse got a good surface was at Leopardstown in Ireland. It finished 12th by 9 lengths off against Poetic Flare, against a very good horse. Looks to me like this horse prefers a little bit softer footing. So I would maybe lean a little bit more towards the one, but you just don't know. Number 7, Charmaine's Mia. Sean, this looks like one to me that's perhaps simply forgettable. The way to the winner's circle for this one, Sean, is to get to the lead and hang on. I don't know that it can do it because there is some black bull type to the right when it's faced some of these other horses, and they were able to pass the horse late and by a substantial margin.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good spot at all. Too much speed for this horse, and this horse only has one way to go.
Caravel's another one, Sean, that's going to be up near the lead. Last time out was the favorite and did not finish in the money at all. Jose turn fortunes around here?
Well, there's 2 things with this horse. This horse doesn't necessarily need to lead. He's had plenty where he came off, sat mid-pack, and also 4 out of 5 at the distance. So there's some positives with this horse, especially at a nice price.
One thing I don't like about this horse, Sean, I don't know if it had just a bad race, its form is going down or what, but the race before it ran 6 furlongs. And then it ran 5 furlongs. So you would expect that its 5 furlong fractions would be at least equal to, if not a little bit quicker than the 6 furlong fractions. And that didn't prove to be the case. The 6 furlong fractions were faster than the 5 and the 5 furlong fractions, which is always a concern to me when you see the fractions degrade. Number 9, Kimari is one that can be near the front. Sean, can be off the pace, right off the pace, as you mentioned. But also, according to our pace projections, Kimari is the one that should have the most kick late. So this one might be sitting 3rd, 4th, I don't know, 9th, short turn. It could get hung wide and have difficulty. Sean, what do you think it needs to do to prevent the outside post from hurting it?
Yeah, and it could be a problem with all the speed in front of, inside of him. The other problem here is the layoff. He's been off 7 months. It could be a difficult trip from out there.
Layoff, yeah, it's good, a pretty good long layoff there, Sean. But the horse's workouts have been pretty good.
Yeah,
The last time the horse had a similar type layoff from September to February, came back and won by 4 1/4 lengths at Oaklawn Park. Although Oaklawn is typically known for just blazing fast track.
and another one, 0 for 2 at the distance, does have a second and never ran at Del Mar. So those kind of things for a shorter price in a big field, I tend to look away.
Okay, Gear Jockey, the 10 horse with Jose Lescano in there. Sean, this is one that's come off the pace. It's making its first start after a break since September. The last time the horse had a break, it came back to win. I mean, obviously, these horses are good. The time before that, it had some time off. It finished second by a head. The time before that, third by a length. But it looks to me like this horse, can handle the distance, no problem.
Yeah, and this horse always seems to be around and always seems to be competitive. So, I mean, you should get a decent price with this horse, and I would definitely use it in the exotics.
Yeah, the 10 horse right now, Gear Jockey, is 9-1. The 11 horse is Fast Boat, which is a horse I'm very familiar with. It's another one that's making its first start off a layoff. And if you quickly look back, the last 2 times it came off the bench after a little bit of time off, it won. It finished behind Gear Jockey last time, but beat Gear Jockey the time before. And it's going to be looking for some revenge here, I guess, Sean. It looks to me like this is a horse that if you're looking for a closer to win this race, might be the best closer in the field, perhaps.
Yeah, there's a ton of speed. This horse should be able to. I mean, if you can get a good trip from the outside, I mean, we just duck inside and work out a trip from there. Likes the distance, 2 for 3 with a second. I mean, this horse could definitely get a job done at a big price.
Extravagant Kid, Sean. This is one that ran here, then went over to Europe to apply its trade and did win in the Dubai. Then turned around with a second place finish at the Royal Ascot in the Kingston, which is a very good race against Oxton. We've heard that name before, and Acebo. So good horses. Then tried again in the Darley Cup, but finished 14th, way behind. So maybe a little too much over there of England. Came back to Keeneland, and surprisingly, after all that travel, ran pretty well. So second time off a lap, but it did finish behind Golden Pal, who is inside that has speed over Extravagant Kid. How do you see Extravagant Kid winning this?
Same thing as the number 11. Leave the speed in front of you, work out a nice trip, get to the inside. There's some good connections here, and you got Ryan Moore. The horse is competitive. Another one at a high price that could surprise.
Brendan Walsh, good trainer that maybe is not as well known as the likes of Brad Cox or Pletcher or Asmussen. Number 15, Sean scratches into this race, Chaos Theory. Doesn't really look like people are too concerned about Chaos Theory. The horse is 35-1 right now. 2 for 2 at Del Mar. Has 6 wins in 11 races at the distance. And it doesn't look to me like being outside should be that much of a problem because it's really more of a horse that wants to come off the pace and close than one that needs the lead.
Yeah, and actually on turf, he's 3 for 3 at the distance. And Chaos Theory, plenty of people have that right now. So, I mean, why not more chaos?
Yeah, well, there's been plenty of that for sure. Yes, I had some of that in my DraftKings account, Sean. I had to close it, unfortunately, because they keep telling me I'm in Tennessee when I'm in Chicago. And I told them that I'm not in Tennessee. I am in Chicago. And they tell me, too bad. You have to do all of these things and admit that you're doing it by proxy, by submitting your photo. They say they're not doing that, but it's in your agreement when you send the photo in. So unfortunately, there's a little chaos for me as to how I'm going to do my NFL bets tomorrow. But all right. Anyway, time, Sean, for you to go ahead and tell me, how are you going to play this race, my friend?
I really like Lieutenant Dan here, number 4. So I'm going to go 4, and then I'm going to do the 3 outside horses besides the 15. Go 4, 11, 10, 12.
And how are you going to do that? Trifecta, exacta? What are you doing?
How
exactly are you betting it?
I'm going to put some money on Lieutenant Dan to win here, and then I'll probably box all 4 of them for the exacta, 4, 11, 10, 12. Because there's some nice price. There's some nice prices in there, so the exacta is going to pay if I get that.
Well, I'm going to go my bet. I have the 2-3 on top in a trifecta over to 2, 3, 4, and 9. And then in the third position, I have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9. So I'm going 2, 3 over 2, 3, 4, 9 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, Sean. We'll see how they line up when it goes official. We got about 5 minutes to post, and just looking at the horses right now on the screen and how they're warming up for the race. The number 10 does look good, galloping on his own with who's the jockey on the 10 horse, Sean? That is
Jose Lezcano.
Jose Lezcano. Yes,
Yep.
And Jose Ortiz mentioned to us that when he takes the horse away from the lead pony, it's almost always a sign for him. I don't know how it is for Jose, but I imagine it's the same for Lezcano, that they feel like the horse is very comfortable and ready to run.
Yeah, probably. It seems to be the consensus when you talk to jockeys about that.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about the speed in these races, Sean? It looks to me like the speed, like the biases are holding up. The dirt, particularly, you're seeing the horses come from staying up front, except for Gamine, right, in the last race. And then you're seeing on the turf, particularly the longer races, the closers coming in.
Yeah, and that's pretty much, I mean, that's universal, it seems, usually. So not much of a surprise. And I also don't think that it can't be done the other way. I mean,
they're all good horses, right?
Yeah. So I haven't seen a bias to where I'm like, I can't play this horse. I mean, I would only say you don't want to play a real deep closer on the dirt, unless if you got a ton of speed up front. And even that, there just doesn't seem to be enough time or enough of the horses coming back to make up the ground. But other than that, it's pretty wide open.
I agree. Well, we'll find out how race number 5 lines up when it goes official. They're probably it looks like about 4 minutes to post. So probably about 5-6 minutes before they actually take off, Sean. Any final thoughts about this race before we take off and watch it ourselves and then come back to talk about it?
No, I mean, this should be a good one. And I think you always look for those prices. This has price written all over it.
Yeah, it does indeed. You have any horizontal bets in mind here, or are you just waiting for later on?
Probably just waiting till later on. I'll look at it, but probably just waiting till later on.
Are you thinking about doing the pick 6, pick 5, pick 4s? What do you think about that?
Probably pick 4. I don't try to do more. Pick 4 every now and then. I'll do a pick 5 if I can get 2 singles. That's what I had lined up. Because I hit Lone Rock in race 2, and then I had Gamine in race 4, thinking that would work out, and didn't. But if I can't get like 2 singles or 2 races that I think are pretty limited, clear. I'm not doing it. It just gets too pricey.
Yeah, Lone Rock was a good play. If you had watched our show on Wednesday night, we usually do Thursday night, the Player's Edge live on YouTube at Horse Racing Radar. We had trainer of Lone Rock on, Robertino Diodoro. And I mentioned to him in the last race that the horse went wide. It was kind of disappointing. And he said, yeah, the horse was a little hurt in that race. This time the horse is very healthy and there's nothing wrong with it. And I feel like he's doing very well. So when I heard that, I was like, ding, 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 ding. That one's going to be much better than it was last time. Did you have that same thought?
Yeah, exactly. And he even overcame the fact that he wasn't out in front. I mean, it looked like Tiz the Magician was going comfortable, but Lone Rock was just the better horse.
Yeah, I mean, and if he's not hurt, right? That's the big key.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people he told that to. It didn't seem like too many. I didn't even hear it, on TVG or anything like that when they were talking about that. So, I mean, that was a big key to the race.
Yeah, that's why you kind of want to watch what we're doing, right? Because we do talk to folks inside the business, and every now and then we get a nugget. All right, Sean, they're about to head on over to the gates. I will see you when it goes official. Good luck with your bets, everybody. Hope all of your tickets end up in the winner's circle. Again, Sean has the 4, Lieutenant Dan, over the 11, the 10, 11, and 12, right?
Yeah, 11, 10, 12, yep.
11, 10, 12 in that order. And I'm going to go with 2, 3 in the trifecta over to 2, 3, 4, 9, over to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9. That's a $12 trifecta. Hopefully it goes in the right order for me. Highest odds possible on top, in the middle, and at the bottom. We'll see how it is.
You hit it either way, it will be a well-spent $12.
Yeah, if I hit it, I'm just happy to hit. That's all. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes, Sean. Be good.
All right.
There you are, Sean. Are you with me, or I don't know what the hell's going on there? I'm in. I'm out. I'm in. I'm out.
I thought you were on mute for a second.
So that 3-horse. Oh, yeah, I think I am on mutant. My internet. I guess my internet signal is really low right now. It's the way it's showing up on my screen. I don't know why. I hate AT&T. I hate all of these people, Sean. The AT&T service stinks. The DraftKings people are messing with my account. But it looks to me like it went 2-3-7. What do you think? I mean, yeah, I mean, 3-4-7.
Yeah.
That race. Think the 6 got there or the 7? I'm hoping the 6 got there because I had the 6 and 3rd.
Yeah, I think it was pretty clearly the 7.
Yes, unfortunately. Yep.
That race was over as soon as the gate opened up and the 3 got out. I mean,
got out easy, right?
Yeah, you see all that speed, and we talk about this all the time. You actually just said this the other day too. You handicap for all the speed, and then one horse gets out there, and that's the horse. And it was, the best.
The speed of speed is what it's called, for sure. And that was definitely the speed of speed, man. It would have been nice if the 6 horse could have found its way in the 3rd, because I would have had a winning trifecta there. But unfortunately, it looks like the 7 horse just got him at the wire. But still had the exacta in my top 3 picks, so I'm okay with that. But I would have I want winning bets, not winning numbers, right?
Yeah, I was hoping Lieutenant Dan ran a good race there, but just with that clear start like that, he just wasn't getting him.
No, there was no chance he was going to catch him. It was right there. The 2 horse, I felt like kind of struggled a little bit out of the gate, didn't get a clean break, and then just didn't have the giddy up and go to get it at the end. But still finished. I mean, still finished 4th. I was surprised it finished ahead of the 6, according to the photo. All right, what about you?
Yeah, I didn't think that, but I was just looking for 3rd for your try, and I saw the 7 on the outside, and it looked pretty clear, but I couldn't tell from after that.
Yeah, it looked pretty clear to me too. So the next race up, Sean, is let's see what the next race is. I'm telling you,
life is good.
Today, Sean, my mouse doesn't. My mouse doesn't want to move around. It's driving me bananas today. But who did you like in college football today, Sean?
Well, what I did like and I really liked, and I should have put more money on it, was Wake Forest scoring a ton of points, and they're both scoring a ton of points. It was only over 37.5, so I had that pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other plays. Some I hit, some I didn't. We got some later. Pittsburgh was another one I expected to score a lot of points. Other than that, we'll see later. I got some plays.
So the next race is race 6, Sean. That is the Big Ass Dirt Mile. You know what that's named after?
No.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a Big Ass Fans Dirt Mile. I thought they actually meant like fans that were like huge fans, like these big fans, not size wise, but like they were just big ass fans in the vernacular of big ass being as in large. But they're actually fan. It's a fan company that does like fans for industrial fans, very big, huge fans, and they're called Big Ass Fans.
And that's great marketing there, because how many people will look that up and go, "What the hell is Big Ass Fans?"
Yeah, so I wasn't unsure if it meant just like big fans, as in the sense that they're big fans.
You just got to watch how
really had.
Yeah.
Or if they really have large backsides.
You just got to watch how you Google search that.
Yes, you might get more than you expected on that, for sure. Well, maybe it is what you expected. It could be a whole different story altogether, right?
Yeah.
So the next race number 6, the Big Ass Fans Mile, is a mile on the main track, Sean, which we've seen speed be the way. We'll come back and talk a little bit about the speed horses in that race, the way the pace setup might look out. We had Golden Pal on top of our pace setup, right, Dan? And right, Sean? So it looks like that worked out to be the case. We'll take a look at race number 6, about 20 minutes to post. Right now, it doesn't look like there are any scratches, and you have a huge favorite in Life is Good at 1-2. Much like Gamine, I'm going to be looking to beat Life is Good. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I don't know. This is probably Life is Good race. This is probably one, I might look at. What do we got? We got a pick 4 or something. Yeah, we got pick 4.
This one we have the pick. Yeah, you have a pick 4. So you're going to single Life is Good. You're going to put that out there as a.
Well, I'll
how about
single. Yep.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish what you
I'll
said.
either single Life is Good or I will put Life is Good and I'll pick one other horse that would be the other horse that might beat him just in case he does, because that's how you really want to start the pick four. I really don't want to start it with Life is Good, but if that's the winner, that's the winner.
Yeah, to me, I feel like all these are good horses, Sean, and they're capable. There's more than one horse I think that's capable of beating Life is Good in here. So we'll talk about that. But why don't we do this too? Why don't you construct a? Do you want to do a hot dog ticket, or do you want to do like just a cheeseburger ticket, or do you want to do a prime rib ticket?
Well, I don't think we want to do a prime rib. We can
So you
do
want to
like
stick in the middle? So let's keep it
Yeah.
under $50.
Yeah, let's keep it under $50.
And that's using a 50-cent
Pick four, yep.
ticket. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and put together a 50-cent pick four. Sean will be back with his. I'll be back with mine about 20 minutes to post. We'll talk a little bit about every horse in the field. Again, we'll talk about the pace setup, see which horses might have a chance to get in front of Life is Good and stay there. Talk about it then, Sean. We'll see you 20 minutes to post.
Okay.
Got to find the right banner to stick up here now. All right, Sean. So now we're off to the big ass dirt mile. Big ass fans dirt mile, not just big ass. We got to throw that fans in there because we don't want to offend anybody. For sure. So we both put together our pick fours. Sean, I think, has cost $50 on the dot. I gave him a $50 budget, and of course, like a good son would do, he spent all of the money Dad allotted him.
Yeah,
right? Couldn't give Dad any change back. All right, Daddy, you give me $50. Here you go.
Yeah, I actually had it at 45, and I was like, wait, let's see if I add one more to the last race, and it came out to 50. I was like, well, you got to use it.
Oh, yes, I see how that works, Sean, for sure. So Breeders' Cup, race 6, the Big Ass Fans Dirt Mile, as you can imagine, aptly named, not about the fans, but about the dirt mile. So it is 1 mile on the main track. That does favor speed horses, Sean, and it also favors during the summer meet. They had 44 races, 30% of them, so roughly 13 of the races went wire to wire. And roughly 31 of them were won by horses that were considered speed. The average winner was probably third at the quarter pole, looks like second at the half-mile marker. So not necessarily on the front speed, but speed that's probably going to be right off the lead. As far as the post positions are concerned, they played pretty fair. There doesn't seem to be much of an edge on the post positions at all. Let's take a quick look at how the horses break down in terms of the early pace figures. Sean, I got to add this in real quick, so forgive me while I head on over. I don't know about you, but when you're making your bets, is it taking forever for the thing to load or not, Sean?
No, I'm using DRF. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I'm not using DRF. I won't say who I'm using because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I'll just tell you that it's slow. I guess too many people on the system. I'm not sure, right?
Yeah, that usually does happen on the special days on some of them.
Mm-hmm. Is this still the last race that I do? No. So here you go. Yep. So early pace belongs to Ginobili and 8 Ring, Sean. They both have a little bit of an advantage over Life is Good, which is kind of surprising to me. Snapper Sinclair, Silver State, and Restrained. What is that? Restrained Vengeance. They'll be way behind. Yep. On the way home, Silver State, I think to nobody's surprise, probably has the best late pace figures, followed by Life is Good and Restrained Vengeance. Sean's Life is Good. You want to just start straight with our pick fours, or do you want to go through the horses first?
We can go through the horses real quick and then go to the pick four if you want.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good way to go. So let's start with the one horse, Sean, which is the Silver State, one horse that we figured that has the best ability to close. Last time out, ran at Parks, has spent the majority of its life over on the East Coast. I think about the farthest west it's probably gone is Keeneland. Maybe, I don't know, Keeneland, Oakland. I think Keeneland's definitely more west than Oaklawn Park. So first time out to the California coast, maybe for Silver State. You think that Steve Asmussen and Ricardo Santana, who had a really rough go of it at Saratoga, you think Keeneland, yes, Keeneland.
Yeah.
You think he can get it back? And well, he does have a win already here at Del Mar, so.
Yeah, he can. I mean, I was a little concerned about that. This all comes down to the pace. If we can get like 2 or 3 dueling leaders, he's going to have a good shot. If somebody gets clear, he may come at the end to get any exotics, but that's it.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the case, Sean. I don't know that there's a ton of early pace, although about the first 4 or 5 or 6 horses in the field in terms of those pace figures that we put up, there's not a big difference between them down to Silver State. So I feel like you're going to have a chance for a pace scenario that goes fast, especially since Ping Zhang, the 2-horse, Sean, coming in from Japan. The horse is, to me, just looking at it on paper, it either wins by a lot, Sean, or gets beat by a lot. So I know that most folks are probably going to shy away from this horse simply because it's an unknown, which happens to be the case, and people are shying away from it. It's 50-1. As a 12-1 morning line, but I think they might be overlooking this horse, Sean, because there's one thing that Mike Smith told me and you and Tom and Terry when we were together on the show. He said how a horse trains at a track is typically how he runs at a track. If you look at that November 7th workout at Del Mar, that was pretty good, 47-1 handily at the at 4 furlongs. That's a good workout.
Yeah. Usually these kind of horses I dismiss with the rest of the public. You don't see too many Japan horses come over and do too well. Haven't heard.
You don't, but sooner or later there's going to be one that does well.
Yeah.
People didn't expect Order of Australia to do well either.
Yeah. This is usually just one. If it's going to beat me, it's going to beat me, but I'm going to toss it.
All right. I see how that works.
I'll do the Jose Ortiz and just laugh at you.
Yeah, well, you do that all the time. Right? Ginobili, named after the basketball player from Argentina, kind of a slick basketball player, a slick course, should be on or near the lead, Sean, and does have a like for the course, running over the course 4 times with 3 wins. It looks like Terry Hollywood Hay is going to join us from the track. Terry Hollywood Hay, how is everything out in cold Southern California?
A lot better than it was yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Tell
us a little bit about what you're seeing out there today.
What's that?
Can you hear us, Terry?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're kind of moving around a little bit. We got a good shot of your ear.
Okay. There, how's that? Better?
That much better, my friend. So tell us what you're seeing today at the track.
It's doing better because I just hit the pick 4, pick 5.
Well, that always makes it a better day. Who do you like here?
That's better than yesterday where they threw this out of the pick 5 and pick 4.
So what do you like in this race?
Oh, let me look, okay?
All right. In the meantime, Sean and I will continue to go on with the horses. What do you think about Ginobili, Sean?
I'd be shocked if Ginobili has the lead over Life is Good here. I think this is another one that's going to sit, maybe third and then make its run. Seems to probably be more the trending pick to beat Life is Good, but I'm not thinking he's going to do that.
Yeah, I think he's got a good shot to get up on the lead. 3 of 4 at the track, got a win at the distance as well, Sean. So I don't think the distance is going to be a difficulty for him at all. Jasper Prince. All right, Terry. Looks like Terry's back. We can bring him back into the conversation. Terry, who do you like here?
I like. It's going to be hard to beat. Life is Good.
And what do you? Anybody else that you like?
Yeah, I like Silver State.
Looks like everybody's using their cellular signals out there at Delmar, huh?
I'm sure they are.
I like Silver State.
Uh-huh. Well, Terry, your signal's kind of difficult, Terry, so we'll try to bring you back in a little bit, all right? Enjoy the race.
I like Silver State. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
All right, Terry. Have a good luck with your picks. May they end up in the winner's circle, my friend.
Have fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a little bit difficult to hear him, right? So it's unfortunate because he's live on the track. I was hoping to get, when the horses come out onto the track, a better view perhaps for him as to what he's seeing from the horses. So anyway, the next horse on our block here, Sean, is Jasper Prince, another horse that's coming in from Japan. This one worked really fast over at Keeneland. Hasn't gotten to work at Delmar. I feel like the 2-horse, though, between the 2 Japanese horses, is, if I'm going to go with one, and I might, is the one I would go with.
Yeah, this horse finished last of 14 last year in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. So it's already tried it. Hasn't really done well. Yeah, this is another toss.
Simply forgettable. Life is Good, Sean. Everybody's all over Life is Good here. Only lost by a neck to Jackie's Warrior, who's running a little bit later on today and actually might be in the pick 4 that Sean and I have constructed. I would guess so. It is. A lot of people feel like Jackie's Warrior is the best single on the card. I don't necessarily agree with that. Good friends of the show, the Patty and Dean Reeves, own Dr. Shivel, who they tell me that horse is ready to go. So hopefully it is ready to go and we can maybe get a price there. Yeah, Life is Good is the one to beat, Sean. There's no question about that. I think at right now, the current odds on Life is Good are 1 to 2 still?
I'm seeing 2 to 5, but I don't know how updated that is.
Yeah, now I see them 3 to 5 too. So they're coming back a little bit towards 1 to 1. The next horse on I think you got to include that horse. Though I am always inclined with these pick 4s and stuff to skip that horse or single that horse. I don't want to get beat by it, though. Number 6 is Restrained Vengeance. As I mentioned, this is a horse that does have some of the best late closing numbers in the field. Ran at Del Mar once and ended up finishing out of the money. Been at the distance, though, 4 times with a win, a second, and a third. He's coming off a break. Last time it ran out at Albuquerque. Not necessarily a fan of the Albuquerque or Charlestown angle back to Del Mar, but like I mentioned, did run at Del Mar, Golden Gate, Santa Anita, so it does have some experience over the better tracks. Some decent workouts lately, Sean. I just don't know that it fits.
No, it doesn't. It's another toss for me, and even the jockey, Edwin Maldonado, I like him on speed horses. I don't really like him on deep closers like this. So, I mean, if this horse had speed, he'd be able to use it. Closing-wise, I'm not really afraid.
Snapper Sinclair, Sean. The horse, this looks to me like it can be up in front or in the back, because last time out it came from 8th of 9, finished second by a half a length, and to Lieutenant Dan, who we saw just finish second in the race before. And now the race before that at strange Kentucky Downs, or unusual Kentucky Downs is probably the better way to call that, finished first going wire to wire. I think you're probably going to see, because it won wire to wire, the horse probably try to get closer to the pace than 8th. So I think you'll be a little closer last time and try to use some of that early pace. What do you think?
It may sit mid-pack. I'm thinking it definitely has a chance. And, I mean, big money rider Rosario's aboard, so it can't go wrong there. Wouldn't shock me. Not going to use it to beat Life is Good, but it's one that definitely has a chance.
8 Rings was a big talk last year. Him and Dennis's Moment were 2 of the horses many people thought would be competing for the Kentucky Derby. They spotted here last year in the Juvenile, right? And neither one of them did very well in the Juvenile. So Life is Good. I mean, 8 Rings is back. And now last time out, won wire to wire in an optional claiming race. So you should probably win if you're 8 Rings, wire to wire in an optional claiming race. The race before that squared up against Ginobili and wasn't close. So clearly Bob Baffert used that optional claiming route to give his horse some confidence, get him around 2 turns, and get him prepared for this spot. Do you think that was the right training move by Bob?
Maybe. My concern here, as far as with Life is Good with this horse, is this is a Bob Baffert horse that has speed. Does he try to run Life is Good into the ground here and just run this horse as fast as he can from the outside? I don't know. That's one thing I looked at when I was seeing this and wanted to pick Life is Good, is I was concerned about how fast 8 Rings is going to go from the outside here.
Well, you think he's going to chase down he's going to try to really press the Pletcher horse?
Yeah, he could. I mean,
well, I think they're probably, I don't think he's going to go out by himself. Like I said, I think you're going to have Ginobili, you're going to have 8 Rings, you're going to have Life is Good near the front. And I think there's a really good chance that you're going to see the Ping Zhang horse right with them as well. So you're going to have 4 horses, I think, jump out of the gate at a mile. I think the key is going to be if they can come home in the first half around 46 seconds, then the speed horses will have a chance to stay. If they're running under 46, 45 and change, or even around 44, then it's going to get really, really dicey.
Yeah, and if it does that, I would favor Silver State if that's the case.
Yeah, I think that could be the case. All right, Sean. So we went ahead and did our pick 4s. Like I said, Sean was like a good little kid. He went and spent every dollar that he gave him on the budget. Didn't give him any change back. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. Well, let's go ahead and throw up our pick 4s real quick. So Sean, he likes the 5 in this spot. He's going solo with Life is Good. So
here's it's all ticket structure. I had Silver State and I had Life is Good. But then you start to get to these big races where there's going to be a price, and it limited me going 2. So I went, you know what? If I get through with Life is Good here, I got a good shot to catch prices elsewhere and got a good shot to cash this ticket.
The thing is, if you know how many people think just like you?
Oh, I know.
They're singling the Life is Good and going deep elsewhere. You're right, because a losing, there's no value. We talk about this in a sports show all the time. There's no value in a losing ticket, right? But the thing is, if Life is Good gets beat, the number of tickets that are alive gets cut probably in half in one race.
It does, but then my coverage later becomes a lot thinner, and there's going to be some prices, I think, in 2 of these races. So I took my shot here, and I took my shot with Jackie's Warrior, and I threw Dr. Schivel on because I do think if Jackie's Warrior does lose, it's going to be to Dr. Schivel. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if Life is Good here, I get through that race, then it's just a matter of the other 2 races. in that last race, I think there's going to be a big price, and I got a lot of coverage there.
So for me, well, you got 4 horses in the last race. For me,
I don't think you got them all.
Well, those are the ones you sent to me on your thing. It's 1, 10, 11. Let me look again here. Let me just make sure I got this right. So maybe I got them wrong. I'm looking at the text Sean sent me. It says 10. Oh, there was a 7 in front of the 10. That's
so. Yeah, you have 1, 6. It should be 1, 6, 7, 8, 12 in the next race as well.
1, 6. Hold on. So 1, 6, 7, 8, 12. It was 8 through 12.
No, it was
1, 8, 12. Okay, here. So let me get this right here. I got to make sure I get this right because, guys, I have bad eyes, folks. So you'll have to forgive me. So and then this one you have the 7 right in the front, the end.
Yeah, it's 1 to 4, 6 to 7, 10 to 12, and 14.
1 to 4. What the hell? 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm.
The 7.
6, 7.
6, 7. Oh my God, Sean! Why don't you just all it?
Well, it's a budget. 10 to 12,
and
then the 14.
All right, so there we go. Sean's ticket is the 5 with the 1, 6, 7, 8, and 12. Is that right?
Yep.
With the
2, 9.
With the 2, 9, and then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 14.
Yep. See, that's right? That's what I'm saying. So if I get through these 2 races that I feel confident about, Life is Good here, and then Jackie's Warrior, Dr. Shivel to win, I got plenty of opportunities to catch a big price.
At the backside, yes, you do for sure. I went with the 1, the 2, and the 5. I'm hoping to catch an Order of Australia moment with the Japanese horse in here, or the pace being fast and Silver State coming in. And then in the next race, I went 4 deep. I went with the 1, 6, 7, and 12. And Sean and I do have all those horses together. Then I agree with Sean, the 2, 9. I think Dr. Shivel, Jackie's Warrior, one of those 2 horses will be the likely winner. Doesn't mean they will. And then in the last race, I went with the 3. Sean has the 3. I went with the 6, and I went with the 10 to close it out. So my ticket's $36. Sean's is $50. Hopefully, there's a path for there is a path for both of us to win, Sean, for sure. But that requires Life is Good to win the first leg, and quite frankly, I don't want Life is Good.
No, but if you don't have your other horses, you'll definitely take them. So.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I don't want to throw the ticket away. Like $36, Kobe into the garbage can. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
All right. So, outside of Life is Good, how are you ranking this field, Sean?
Hold on 1 sec. I got 5, 1, 5, 1, 7, 3.
You're going 5, 1, 7, 3, and I am going to go 5 over the 1, 2, and 3, hoping that, like I said, I can catch that. I can catch that Japanese horse, shocking everybody at what right now? What is he, like 50 to 1? 40? I think he saw his odds come down a little bit. At the moment, he's 45 to 1. So a nice $100 horse on top of the pick 4 would be phenomenal.
Yes, it would.
Yes, I'll take that. Now, the only thing is if I can get the pick actually in, because the software is going on my computer, is going super slow. It won't open up. All right, Sean, you and I will talk about it when it's over. We got 2 minutes to post. Good luck with your tickets, everybody. I'm going to leave Sean's pick 4 up there. I'm going to leave my pick 4 up there. Tell us what you like in the comment section. Of course, if you like what you're seeing today, follow on Facebook, on Twitter at Racing Radar, and then also subscribe at YouTube. Hit the bell, and when we go live for any show, you'll be notified because we do a show every day, usually except Sunday. Sean, we'll see you when it's official, my friend.
Okay.
Got to take that picture off, Sean. There we go. Well, your gamble paid off. Well, I mean, it's really not a gamble. Life is Good is 3 to 5. Very good in terms of getting yourself a lot of depth now.
Yeah, I will say though, those pace and coming down the stretch, Ginobili looked good. I was actually shaking my head when they were coming down the stretch because I thought it was setting up perfectly for Ginobili there. That was great.
Well, I don't know. Either the horses are becoming incredible or something else is going on, because 21 and 4, 44 and 4, and you still have some left at the end. You just don't see that often anymore. You know what I'm saying? I know they're the best of the best and all that kind of stuff. I know. Yes. I'm not making any accusations or anything along those lines. It just flat out amazing. That's all you can say, right?
Yeah, it is me. And, this is the thing too. And I'll criticize Baffert too, but this horse was with Baffert. He's with Pletcher now. So, I mean, he's doing just as good. So it's not like, because Baffert was cheating or whatever, this horse was great. This horse is just absolutely a freak.
Must be, yes. So if you had the 5 and the 3 exacta, I paid $6.10. Not the best exacta in the world. If you got that restrained revengeance in there for third, that upped the trifecta a little bit to $33.75. Not bad considering who you had on top there. So it was a single, Sean. It was the right call. I was hoping to beat him. The 2 Japanese horses, they were just overmatched. I think the Japanese folks, I thought the 2 horse, when he hustled him out of the gate and then he relaxed on him and let him run a little bit. And when they came through that turn, I thought, well, maybe he's got a shot at third, and then when you looked like those strides started to really shorten up, the horse started really bouncing around a lot. And I was like, no, that horse is done. So,
they were definitely, when you're watching, you're like, come on, like Nats, like leave him alone. Like, what are you doing? Like, get out of here. Like,
yeah, you're hoping that they can. You're just hoping that they can get to the. Like I said, I was hoping they can get to third. I was looking at that workout there, and I thought nice workout there, but it just didn't pan out. So just taking a flyer. Hopefully, you can cash on a price at the back end. That you and I both have the horses on the back end with the best prices, and we can walk through this together. But I think right now you have a much better chance than I do. So maybe you're much wiser spending all of Daddy's budget than just.
Well, I've just learned too, because I used to do it the other way. If I do Silver State there, if Life is Good gets beat, it's probably not by Silver State, even though that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to lose anyway. So why not just take your stance right there and do Life is Good? And if I lose, I lose, and I lose from the start. And yeah, it was a waste of $50, but I didn't have to, sweat the rest of the races and lose later. It's not painful when you get to the last race and you're right there and the payouts and you end up losing. So
yeah, that's the worst. That sucks, especially because what usually happens when that happens too, Sean, is you don't just lose. What happens is your horse gets beat at the wire, and then you have 5 horses in that leg, and your horses finish second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, right? And the one horse that beat you might have been on your selection, but you're like, I got enough horses already, so I'm just going to go with these 5. And then, of course, they just barely get beat at the wire, and you had all 5. And, of course, the one that gets beat's the one that's going to give you the highest payout too, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Always.
And even if you hedge the bet, you have 5 horses, you go, okay, let's throw a 6th one in to make some money. The 6th one is nowhere to be found either, or second, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. So now we go from the big ass fans mile we go to the race number 7. We got 12 races today, Sean. There's a lot. This is the Maker's Mark Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. It's a great one. I was on the show with the Triple Clowns handicapping this race. I hope I got it right. We'll find out if I did. About 20 minutes to post, Sean. But this one is a 1 3/8 on the turf. And I'm going to suspect, like all races that 1 3/8 on turf, that horses that have a little bit of a late punch should have a little bit of an advantage. What do you think?
Yep. That's typically the way. I mean, typically here and typically at most tracks.
Yeah, most of the time. So we have approximately, let's see, like I said, my computer is super slow when I'm going from race to race. We've got 31 minutes. So Sean and I will be back in 10 minutes to discuss the 7th race, Filly and Turf 1 3/8 mile on the turf course. Till then, folks, go grab something to drink, sit back, and start looking at all the different scenarios where you can cash Sean's Pick 4 ticket. We'll see you in about 10 minutes, Sean.
Okay.
once again, Sean, we have the beautiful image instead of you and I.
They probably prefer that.
Probably do. I would probably prefer that too. I did get your FanDuel link. Thank you, Sean, for sending that to me. I tell you before, I was having a very good experience with DraftKings, telling me I'm in Tennessee when I am not in Tennessee. I am in my dungeon like I'm always in my dungeon, and they locked my account, so I refused to send them. I went through this. It wouldn't be one thing, but I went through this a week ago where I was supposedly in Tennessee and betting by proxy, and I'm not in Tennessee. So one of two things: either they don't have good controls in, which allows people from Tennessee to try to log into my account, or B, their geo-targeting software doesn't work, in which case it's not my fault, and I don't see that I have to send my ID to them once every 2 weeks just to have access to my own money to bet on my own account. So hopefully your experience is better than mine, but that was my experience. I'm certainly let everybody know about it as much as I can for as long as I can, because, well, we have that forum where we can actually talk about things.
And Rich isn't confused because there's a big difference between Tennessee and Chicago. He knows he's in Chicago.
I'm absolutely in Chicago. No question about it. I can hear the gunshots behind me. Not the horses neighing, right? So yeah. There's no question. But anyway, the Maker's Mark Billy Breeders' Cup Filly and Turf Mare, as I mentioned, I was on the show with the Triple Clowns. You might want to check out the show over there with AJ, Randy, and Sarah. They always put on a good, entertaining show, fun stuff. Good friends of ours. So again, you can find them at Triple Clowns on YouTube and on the Degen Nation or Degen Nation. I don't know how they pronounce it, but a little bit differently.
Degen Nation, yep.
Degen, yeah, I call it Degen, whatever. It's the folks are degenerates, short for degenerate, right?
Yep.
Degenerate gamblers. Anyway, race 7, a mile and 3/8, Sean, should be closers, but there's too many really international horses in here to really go through the pace setup like I normally do with the colorful sheet, because you don't know really where the numbers are for the international horses. So let's just run down the field here real quick, Sean. Talk a little bit about this race. It is, as I mentioned, the Breeders' Cup. Maker's Mark, Breeders, fillies and mares for 3 years old and up. The first horse here is Going to Vegas, Sean. And Going to Vegas looks to me like it's going to the lead. We talk about how can the horse win. This horse can get to the lead and hold the lead, Sean. I think that's how Going to Vegas can win.
Yeah, and I didn't see much pace in here. I started to do it, and then I thought, you know what, these turf races, it usually doesn't even matter. But I did see there wasn't too much speed, depending on the international. So I think it does favor going to Vegas here.
I think there's one horse from the international field that'll probably sit pretty close to the pace. Love, probably, yeah. I expect Love to be pretty close to the pace. And, well, we'll talk about Love when we get there. But this is the third.
So going to Vegas here, he was the longest price in my pick 4, and some people are betting him too. He's 5-1 off that 12-1 morning line. So
yeah, that's a lot of money flowing his way because they're looking at that lone speed angle, Sean, for sure. And then of course they're looking at this nice Halloween workout down there at Del Mar as well. They're looking at that record where the horse has 2 wins, 2 seconds, 2/3 in 7 races at Del Mar.
And so Rispoli's a good jockey, but he's an exceptional turf jockey. So
especially going distance, I agree with you. If you go to Equibase, you can search. They have past history for jockeys and trainers on different surfaces. And if you look at the summer meet, I think he had the 3rd or 4th most wins on turf routes. So I went to definitely investigate that. Pocket Square, coming in from England, has had a couple races here. The horse does look like it likes the late pace stuff. You know, and I think about these horses coming in from the East Coast. I think about what Trevor McCarthy shared with us on the Players Edge show about how a lot of times the East Coast horses have a hard time dealing with that get out of the gate, really hard approach at Del Mar.
Yeah. This horse is not going to want to get out too much. I just don't know if it's got the class that some of these other horses have.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't have the class either, but it has won 5 out of 9 on the turf course. You kind of have a hard time to argue with that track record. And our horse also has a pretty good pedigree score for the distance and surface. So maybe Pocket Square might be one that can upset both of our pick 4 tickets, Sean. I hope not.
Yeah, it's got the connections to it. Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz. I mean, you can't go wrong there.
Mm-hmm. And Chad, as good as Irad is, he's not really, if you look at his record at out east, he's not really much of a sprint runner. He's really more of those races that are longer where he can, where his skills come more into play. At Canella, the 3-horse, Colin Keane coming in from Ireland. I would have never guessed. The horse off a good track, has a win and a 7th, a 6th, a 9th, a 2nd, an 8th, a 1st. A little bit of a spotty record there, Sean. Very strong turf breeding. I just don't know about this horse because it seems like it either runs really good or really bad. I just don't know what version we're going to get, and there's no hint to tell us what version we're going to get other than the last time it came off a break, it finished second by a head, and in its debut, it won. So that's maybe a hint that the horse likes a little bit of time off and runs its best fresh.
Yeah, there was nothing here. I mean, these international horses are tough, but usually I try to grab onto something if I like it. I couldn't grab onto anything with this horse, so it was just I had to toss him.
Yeah, you gotta have to look too at who they're running against and see some of the names. The one name on here that kind of stands out is Joan of Arc, and that was in her second race on May 9th. That's a really good horse, but wasn't competitive. So everybody else that she's run up against are not really name brand horses, so to speak, over there. So I'm a little bit concerned.
I that always confuses me sometimes. Now, like you said, that horse wasn't competitive, but sometimes people will be like, "Oh, this horse finished 12th, but he ran up against this horse." Well, who got second to 11th? Because if he finished 12th, it doesn't matter who he ran up against.
Well, I mean, it can matter if there's a big class drop. You're not getting a class drop here.
Right.
You're actually maybe at least moving. I think that horse is actually moving up in class. Rogier is the 4 horse. I know a lot of folks like this horse too, but again, this one concerned me because if you look, it's only been on a good surface once, and it finished 6th by 1.5 lengths. So it wasn't that far off the pace. And again, looking at the quality of horses that the horses ran against Mother Earth, which is a really good horse over there, finished 4th by a neck, so came pretty close in a Group 1. And then a couple races prior to that ran against Joan of Arc. So it has faced some good horses in Europe. The question is, will the horse take to a track that's probably firmer and faster, even though it's probably not absolutely firm and fast at Del Mar? I'm a concern that this horse maybe wanted a little bit of rain. Probably would have been a much better pick at Keeneland than Del Mar.
Yeah, probably. This horse, I kept looking at it with the 6-1 morning line. It's got some good races in there. It was probably the last one I threw out of the pick 4, so it'll probably be the one that steals the show here and does it. This is the horse that... If I do get beat, this is the horse I don't want to see because it almost went on my ticket.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm just really worried. It's run so many times on a soft or heavy track. I don't know what it's going to do on a track that's not soft or heavy. Queen Supreme, Sean, again, looking at its recent form on good tracks when it's raced against quality company, it was really good. And then it just seems to have hit a wall of late. And last time out, ran against an okay horse. Master of the Seas is pretty solid. We've seen that horse over here. Rainbow Bridge, not heard of it. War of Ethnia, haven't heard of that one. So for the most part, it hasn't really raced against horses I'm familiar with. Names that stand out after looking at a lot of races with Tom in England. Looks to me, based upon the one comment, the horse is going to be in the middle of the pack. Middle of the pack, not a lot of late punch. I don't know. I'm passing.
Yeah, I'm passing too, but it's funny, before we went on and I didn't know, I heard the voice, but I couldn't tell who it was. Somebody from TVG was making this their top pick. So, I mean, that'd be the upsets of upsets.
Yeah, well, maybe there's some drinks flowing for free at this point of the day. Because to me, this is the horse that looks, love the 6 horse, Ryan Moore, Aidan O'Brien. Although we'll talk about another horse later on from Aidan O'Brien. Aidan O'Brien said in an interview he felt like Space Blues was the best horse that he had and the best chance to win in the Breeders' Cup. Although he did catch a win yesterday in that last race, even though it was a win, but it wasn't a win, but it was a win. We'll talk more about that Monday on the live Horse Racing Today TV show at 1 o'clock Eastern. Terry and I, when we'll make our pick 4 selections. But this is a horse that has been running against the top quality in England, running against the boys. Mishriff, who might well be the best horse on the planet, finished 3rd by 6.5. There's Sean's argument. Alencour is another really good horse, but those are boy horses that are really top-notch stuff. And then Le Petit Coco in the races at Ireland's not a bad horse either. So this horse is running against some high-quality race horses. Last time out, maybe lollygagged a little bit at the end of the race, if you will. Looks to me like Love is back in top form. And to me, this is the horse to beat, Sean.
Yeah, it might be. And this is the opposite way. So if I'm looking at an international horse and you see Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien, I got to find something I don't like to get me off.
Not too long ago, you didn't like it because they were like 0 for 63.
Yeah.
But now you are the ultimate bandwagon guy.
No. Ryan Moore, you always got to play because Ryan Moore does win in these special races. So
he off and on the bandwagon faster than Usain Bolt runs 100 yards, my friend.
So yes, definitely a major competitor.
Yes, I agree. I think this is the horse to beat for sure. then well, maybe not for sure. I can't use that kind of terminology, Sean. That's against my rules. Number 7, Warlike Goddess, Sean. This is the horse that will be coming at the end of the race, like it's chasing something that stole its wallet, because this horse has some great late pace figures. If the horse is close coming down the stretch, like if it's 3rd or 4th when they turn for home, I think it runs by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this horse does. So if you're going to play against them, you're going to be holding on for dear life when this horse comes flying. 3 for 3 at the distance, too. So it likes the distance. Just hasn't run at Del Mar yet. So that would be the question.
Yeah, coming across the country like that. The workout, though, it did have at least a workout at Del Mar, which I like to see because a lot of these horses ship in. They don't have any workouts at Del Mar. So, and the workout wasn't bad, 8th of 29. Probably just to really get to know the track workout, because Bill Mott's not really known for one that really make his horses push it in workouts. I know a lot of folks like this 8 horse, Loves Only You, Sean. Had a really good run on the good turf last time out, firm. So it's got a chance to run, but this is one of those horses that's coming in from the United Arab Emirates. It's coming in from Japan. And certainly the Japan horses did not fare well in that last race.
Yeah, and I'm being hypocritical here because I did add this horse to my pick 4 ticket.
Why are you being hypocritical? You're trying to pick a winner.
No, I know, but I said I usually throw the Japan horses out. But, I mean, you can see on form that this horse, you know, it's got some class to it. So we don't know what it's going to do. So it's going to be a wild card. I don't like taking a low price on it if you're going to play it, you know, to win or in exactas or whatever. But I had to throw him on the pick 4 to stay alive.
Yeah, right now, Loves Only You is 9-2. And if you look, we talked a little bit about Mishrif. That horse also ran into Mishrif a couple of races ago at Medellin in I don't know how they pronounce it, United Arab Emirates. Finished 3rd by a half of a length and led almost with only about 250 meters left to go. It got run down late. So I wonder if it's going to be able to hold, if it gets the lead, if it's going to be able to hold off Warlike Goddess, since it gave up the lead last time out. And then Sodashi's supposed to be a pretty good Japanese horse, but we'll find out, because yesterday there was a Japanese horse that had won a race by 10 lengths, didn't show up. Those other 2 Japanese horses didn't show up in the last race. So hopefully the Japanese horse doesn't show up again. I don't have it.
Yeah. My other question with this horse is it ran in April, then had 4 months off, ran in August, and now had another break. So I don't know if there's anything there, you know, injuries or anything else.
Could be. My Sister Nat. It's a horse that should have some late pace, Sean. 4 out of 5 in the money at the distance. Hasn't run at Del Mar. Another one coming in from the East Coast, Jose Ortiz who's ridden this horse 9 out of the last 10 times. So obviously Jose knows what to do with this horse. Another one that should be coming late. I think maybe this could be a price in here that might upset.
My problem is I don't know if it's. I don't think it's got the class. Some of these.
You only have one problem?
Well, I got multiple. And the other thing is I hate when a horse like this, so it wants the same style as Warlike Goddess. And If they get the setup, Warlike Goddess is going to be the one. Something would have to go pretty terrible for her. So that's my problem. Like if you're a long shot and you have another angle, but if you're trying to do the same thing the favorite's doing, it's very difficult.
It is difficult, I feel like, because you have to, like you said, you have to beat her at her own game, right?
Yeah, or something's got to go wrong on
well,
her.
We've seen that, though. The one thing I have to say about Closer, Sean, and I've seen this on many races, where you have the best horse, and the other jockeys know you have the best horse too, and you get yourself out of position, and then the jockeys know you're out of position, and they'll lock you in.
Yeah, we've been told that definitely does go on.
So, if that horse is not in the right position, Warlike Goddess, then the other jockeys that know that they have to outrun her to the wire are going to pin her in, put her up against the wall, make her break her momentum and slide and go wide. So that's a very difficult way to win a race. Number 10 is Ocean Road, Sean. This horse is coming in from Great Britain. The horse has been on a soft turf only. The one race that it has where it was on a fast track was on the all weather. And an angle, one of my favorite angles, Sean, is horses that run really well on all weather, moving off the turf. It's only ever been on soft turf, so this is the first time it's catching a good course. This could be an Order of Australia moment if the horse really takes to the track, and then it's something we don't know and just surprises everybody.
It's possible. It would surprise me. I mean, this is one I couldn't really find anything to grab onto, so I'm just going to leave it beat me.
Well, hopefully it doesn't beat you.
Yeah, hopefully not.
I mean, the one horse that did run up against that is a huge name over in Europe is Snowfall, and it finished sixth by 25 lengths. But I think that was the race Snowfall beat everybody by 20 lengths. So finishing 25 meant it wasn't that bad because it was only 3 or 4 behind everybody else.
Yep.
Number 11 is Dog Tag Sean. I thought a lot of people were going to take this horse, but it didn't look like he got as much love as I expected. Maybe because it's finished behind Dog Tag 2 races in a row. Not Dog Tag, finished behind going to Vegas. Yeah, Dog Tag finished behind Dog Tag. Now it somehow turned around and ran ass first.
Yeah.
That might have happened yesterday in the last race, right?
Oh, here we go. Thing here is you do have Prat at Del Mar. I mean, he is the best turf rider. He's probably the best turf rider over here. So
but he can't win them all. So
no, but again, it's going to kind of run the same. I mean, this horse should be closer to the pace.
But it's outside.
It's
outside, and it's got to be closer to the pace. That could be a little bit difficult situation. I think it's going to be more. It's going to be maybe a little farther back than maybe Flavien wants because it is outside. There is some inside speed, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the foreign horses are closer to the front than people think. And then there's just going to be a glob of horses in the middle that like to stalk or close, which could force you outside. Aduria won this race last year, right, Sean?
Possibly.
Yes. Yeah, it did. The Breeders' Cup Fillies Team Murph. It ran a 102 at Keeneland on a firm course. It closed, but it was seventh, only 4 lengths behind everybody else. But came back to lose to Love. Has lost to Rozier. The thing is, the horse only had one good surface since running at Keeneland last year, and that was the second place runner-up finish to Love. The Rozier run was on a soft course or a heavy course. This horse doesn't like the soft, Sean. It doesn't perform that well on the soft as of late. Has performed better on the good to firm surfaces. I think he's going to have a really good shot to repeat.
Yeah, definitely. Again, only concern is needs a good trip from the outside post. But other than that, I mean, it's got a shot here, and it's actually an overlay right now.
Huge overlay. Morning line was 5-1. It's currently sitting at 10-1. All right, we got 2 minutes, Sean. To the race is going to go live. How are you going to play this one, my friend?
I am in order 1, 6, 7, 12 here. I'm going to go with going to Vegas from the rail. Looks to be the speed. Rispoli on the turf. Good post position as long as he gets out okay on the rail. So I'll the 1 and 6. I'll probably key the 1 and 6 with the 7 and 12 because I think it's going to Vegas or Love is going to be the top contenders here.
I'm going to do same 4 horses. It's a little different order, Sean. I'm going 6. I think like Love is the class of the field over to 7. I think Warlike Goddess, if it's not Love on the front, it's going to be Warlike Goddess in the back. And then I have the 12 and the 1. So that's how I see them lining up. We'll find out how it runs when it goes official, Sean. We'll be back to talk about it as soon as the race is over. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Good luck with your tickets, everybody, and may they end up in the winner's circle. Well, Sean, the Japanese horse got home. Okay, split them in the middle there, and I felt like I felt like just watching that race. I texted you at first. It looked like Love was in a great spot, and then they went around the first turn and they pushed it way, way, way wide, and that's a nope. Yep. Now it's in a bad spot and didn't have a chance to come in. And when Warlike Goddess made that move, I thought, well, that ton of momentum. It's going to be hard to run by that horse. Split horses. I'm kind of surprised that the 9 opened up the space for the 2 to go in there, because the 9 wins that race if it kind of stays close to Warlike Goddess.
Yeah, I thought the 9 was going to win. I was like, wow, I'm eating my words here. Don't run the same style as the favorite. And this horse is definitely going to beat her. But wow, that was a great ride by the Japan rider there.
Yes, and you're still alive in your pick 4, so that's a good thing for you. I'm not. I just got doused out. It was actually my 5th pick that beat me. I hate that.
You know, one thing that, I'm sitting here and you think things through at the last minute, and I went, Warlike Goddess I'm having beat, but the horse is definitely going to be their 2nd or 3rd. So I picked 2 horses. I picked the 1 and 6 on top, did Warlike Goddess for 2nd, and then I did it the other way too, all in Warlike Goddess. If I would have added the 8, I would have had it. He was one of my picks. It's $10 each way, so you kind of have to limit how many you're putting up front. So
for sure. Well, I mean, you're still alive on your pick 4, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a great price, 4-1, but big fields, and it was also tied for 2nd or 3rd choice there. So plus it's a Japan horse that probably got overlooked a little bit.
Right? Yeah, I think that's going to work out. I mean, you got 2 horses in the next race that I think are going to be short prices that every ticket's going to have. So should we throw together a pick 5 ticket, or do you want to just go ahead and go to a pick 4 after that?
If you want to do one together, we can do that.
You want to try to throw together a pick 5 together?
Yeah, why not?
All right, so we'll try to throw together a pick 5 starting in race number 8, which is the Breeders' Cup Sprint. It's a grade 1. That's going to be 6 furlongs on the dirt. So, speed's going to be key. I already know how we're going to start this one, Sean. The question is what comes afterwards, where we're going to have to really nail it out. So, all right, let's go ahead and try to put together a pick 5 together before the next race. And then we'll also make our selections for the race. And then we'll close out the day at the Breeders' Cup. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right, Sean, I'll see you about 20 minutes to post, where we're going to knock out a pick 5 to go home on the final day of the Breeders' Cup. See you in a few minutes, Sean.
Okay.
Well, Sean, let's get the hash in, my friend. We got a pick 5 to work out starting in race 8 here. This is the Breeders' Cup Sprint. It's a 6-furlong race on the main track. No need to tell you. You got to be fast, right? We've seen that hold up all day on the dirt. Quick look at how the early pace. No surprise here either. Jackie's Warrior is likely to have a pretty good advantage over everybody else out of the gate. Got a couple good steps. I'm going to be surprised if Jackie's Warrior is a length and a half ahead of Special Reserve. Dr. Shivel will be right behind them in that nice workout recently, perhaps. On the way home, Aloha West has a little bit of a good late advantage over CZ Rocket. Dr. Shivel right there, too. He's got some late pace, got some early pace. Maybe Dr. Shivel can hang behind Jackie's Warrior and run by her late. We saw that try to work out in some other races, and it didn't do so successfully, right? Life is Good got to the front. That 3-horse Golden Pal got to the front. Horses tried to run them down and couldn't do it, Sean. So maybe are you thinking about single and Jackie's Warrior here? Are you going to try that again or no?
Well, probably together. I think we're just going to do 2-9, right?
I think that's how I'm going to go. I think it's
well,
going to be
your scenario right there. If Jackie Warrior is a length clear and there's not much pressure, it's going to be very hard for any horse, even Dr. Shivel, to pass.
Yeah, I think, but I do think he'll be a length clear of everybody, Sean.
Yeah, so that's gonna be tough.
You don't think a horse can make up a length on her? It depends on the fractions, right?
Yeah,
well, we just saw a horse run a mile and change.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jackie's Warrior's another freak with that. So
they got some good hay out there.
Yeah, so I mean that's gonna be tough.
All right, so 2-9 straight
2-9.
2. What do you want to do?
We'll do 2-9.
2-9. All right, we're gonna try to do a pick 5 and keep the budget under $100, which could be a little bit crazy. So we're starting with 2-9. All right. So the next race, Sean, is race number 9. This race, huh?
Well, so I was going to say now ticket structure. What I do is the other race. I would think that we have limited horses would be the last race. Do you want to go there and put the horses in to figure out what our budget is for the rest?
So in the last race number 12,
the classic.
Ooh, so I think maybe. How many horses do you see there?
I find it hard to believe that anybody's beaten either Essential Quality or Knicks Go. One of them's probably winning. But if you want to throw another horse or two in, I'm fine with that. I just want to see what budget we have with the big fields, wide open fields.
Well, I kind of think the one thing I don't know about, honestly, I don't know about Knicks Go. I think Essential Quality will run his race for sure. Mm-hmm. I think Knicks Go is going to get a ton of challenge up front. And if you look back, if Knicks Go doesn't get the lead, Knicks Go doesn't go to the winner's circle.
Right. And my top pick is Essential Quad. But the only thing with that is now what we've seen is even pressure up front. If you're the speed of the speed and you're that good in a freak, might be able to hold it.
Do you think Knicks Go is a freak? I'm not sure he's going to get the jump. I think that there's a really good chance. I could be wrong, but I think there's a really good chance Medina Spirit's actually going to get the lead. You know that's what they're going to try to do.
Well, that's what they're going to try to do. My only concern with that is obviously like Baffert's not that confident in that, or he would have ran the Parks race where he was on the outside of a ton of speed. So,
all right, so we're going to go 2 horses. We just don't know which 2. So. All right, so we'll go 4 or 5 in there. So that leaves us in the middle. All right, so let's rewind back then to race number 9, which is the Breeders' Cup Mile. That's going to be – so in this particular race, Sean, there was a comment, as I mentioned, from the trainer, Aidan O'Brien. He said he felt like his best chance to win at this Breeders' Cup was going to be with Space Blues, the 3-horse. I feel like that's a horse you got to have in there then. If the trainer says this is my best chance, how do you want to live that?
Charlie
Appleby, you're right. Charlie Appleby. Wrong trainer.
Yeah, I think Space Blues will be tough, but I also see a bunch of other horses too.
And who are your bunch? How do you start your bunch?
This is the one where I finished the pick 4 and I have like 75% of the field here. But I would also think Appleby's other runner on the rail here, Master of the Seas, has a shot too at 12-1.
Didn't have Masters of the Seas.
Smooth like Straights, then I'd be there from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. I had Smooth like Straight somewhere in my picks, 5th.
And then I was definitely looking at the 6 Mo Forza.
Forza, yeah. I like the Mo Forza,
And In Love, number 7.
I don't have the 7 at all.
No?
I have I have Space Blues, Mo Friends. I have Blowout. I think if you're going to get a horse that's going to get to the lead.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's going to be, I think Blowout's going to be on the lead by itself. And of all the horses I ran through the pace figures on the weekend and looked at to see like the early pace, late pace, to see which horses had like maybe a tactical advantage in the race. So you got maybe a race that's kind of slow and you had a standout horse with late pace, or you had a race that's going to be kind of slow and you have a standout speed horse up front. To me, Blowout's the one standout speed horse up front.
Yeah, and I definitely am.
So far we agree on the 3, the 6, and the 10. Is that right?
The 2, 3, 6, and 10. Yeah,
3, 6, and 10. I don't think we've agreed on the 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 3.
We do have the 2 in there, so we can throw the 2 in there. 2, 3, 6, 10. All right. So that's getting us now. And then I had Pros Galore as a long shot for me, Sean. What did you think about that one? Number 12.
I don't know if I have her on my pick 4 or not, or him.
Well, we're looking at a pick 5 now. We're not looking at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. Finish behind Space Blues, but not by a ton, 2 lengths. So if you like Space Blues, you probably do have to like.
You got to like that one too, right? And I don't really feel like in these longer races, well, it's a mile, but I don't really feel like the outside post is going to hurt. And if you look at the horse on a fast track, on a good track, so he finished behind Space Blues on a heavy track. We go back a race to a mile on a good track. It finished second by a neck, beat Mother Earth, who's a good horse. Race before that got a good surface, won by 1 3/4. The race before that got a good service, won by 2. A couple of races before that did face Real Appeal, but that was coming off a little bit of a 7-month break, so maybe needed one. But when you look at this horse's record on a good turf, Sean, it's 1 1 1 1 1 or by a neck. So I figured, why not?
Yeah. I don't have a problem.
All right, so we got 5 horses there. You want to? So we got the 2, the 3, the 6, the 10, and the 12. Do you want to go any deeper than that, or you just want to spend all your money here?
Let's move on to race 10 and see what our budget is, because we'll I'll make sure we use all $100, right?
Well, I know you will. So you got Latruska. So Latruska you have to have, right? The 6 horse.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to beat Latruska with the 1. And that's Private Mission. You got, as you mentioned, the best jockey at the track there, Flavien Prat. Looking at some of the other horses in this field, I think he had an option of other horses to ride as well. And he took the 1 horse. And I feel like the 1 horse has to answer some questions, right? Stepping up in quality, all that kind of good stuff, facing the toughest field it's ever faced. But I feel like getting the top jockey at the track at a distance and surface that fits Flavien's riding style, and that is 1 1/8 miles. So he likes those longer runs a little bit better, I think, than sprint races. He was the top jockey at Del Mar for routes on the dirt. I feel like he will absolutely get Private Mission in the right place. And horse might not win, but he'll give it every chance possible to win if the horse has what it takes to win.
Yeah.
What do you think of that argument?
Yeah, I'm okay with the argument. It wasn't one of probably not my top 4, but I could see it, so we can add it.
All right. Well, who do you like?
My top pick was excuse me, number 3, Malatat.
Yeah, I like that one too. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the other one I could see with a pace breakdown here, if it happens, would be number 2, Royal Flag.
What about She Dares the Devil? That horse is legit. The last one to beat Latruska.
Yeah, and that's the problem, and that's where the line comes in this race. This was a horse I could definitely see winning, but it was one of those horses. Me personally, I was going to leave it beat me if it does.
So you'd rather go with Rosario than with Guru, which that's right. I mean, that's
definitely. As far as jockey, yes.
So we'll go with the 6, the 1, the 3, and the 2. So right now, Sean, we're at 20 times 2. We're at 40. So that means we can only really do like 2 more horses.
Okay.
Or we're going to have to go back and cut some out somewhere. If I'm doing my math right. So race, oh boy, and this is going to be a tough race to go 2 horses, Sean. It's going to be hard. All right. So we'll just go with your top pick and my top pick and hope one of them wins.
Or we cut back. I mean,
well, where do you want to cut back?
Yeah.
Maybe my math is wrong, but maybe I don't think so. Because we have 4 times 5 was that even 5? Yeah, 4 times 5 is 20. Times 4 is 40, right? And then another times 2 and the last leg, so that's 80, right? But divided by 2. So we can let's see. Maybe we could put 3 horses in here. Let's put them in and do the math and see.
Okay.
So who do you like? Your top pick, my top pick, and then we'll see what goes next.
All right, hold on here 1 second. I got to get back to that. I was going to put in. All right, so this one is just a wide open race. I mean,
so
yeah.
Let's go ahead and take the most wide open race and try to narrow it down to 2 horses. Well, I'm going to go with what I said. I'm going to take my top pick, and I'm going to throw it out there right now, Sean. And that's the 7-horse Walton Street. Again, it's a horse coming in from overseas that's performed very well on a good surface. And I feel like you're going to see a really good effort out of the 7-horse here and getting a good price on it. And I feel like we're due for a little bit of a good price in an English horse. And I feel like that's a horse that can get the job done. What do you think?
Yeah, it definitely could. I don't have a problem using that. I have 2 horses here. It's a matter. I think the favorite's going to be tough here. 13 Torwani. And then if I would go outside the favorite, I would throw in the number 11 Gufu.
See, I would throw in the 12 Tiona. So 11 or 12. Take a look at those 2 horses. I know Gufo has done pretty well, but it looked to me like in that last race, he was a little bit tired and unable to get his get home first. Kind of faded at the very end of the race to Rock Emperor. So there was a regression in form. Maybe it was just a bounce because he was coming off such a high speed figure the first time after a layoff. So not unexpected to get a bounce there. But he has finished behind Domestic Spendin, did finish behind Tribhuven, did finish behind Rock Emperor, barely beat Japan. So I feel like, maybe some of these horses got a leg up on it, Sean. And so if they have a little bit of leg up on it, why not go with the unknown, which is David Egan, the horse from England, has been on a good surface 2 times in a row and actually beat a phenomenal horse over in Europe by the name of Snowfall, the one I mentioned to you that won a race by 25 lengths. So I don't know. Although those European horses aren't showing up today so far.
Yeah,
the Japanese one did.
They're not. Tom's taught you well with his international stuff, so I'll follow your international lead here with the 12.
No. Why are you going to do that to me? Why are you going to do that to me?
So right, what are we going to do?
Why don't you run a ticket through your DRF count and let's see if we're right. So 2 by 5. So you got 2 9.
All right. 2 9. Go ahead.
By 2 3 6 10 12.
That should not be the race that we lose to.
Right. That's probably the one we're going to be. 1 2 3 6. 7 12 13. And then 4 and 5.
120.
Yeah, so we can't do that. I was right. We have to take one out. What do you want? I'm going to leave it up to you. Since you let me put in that 12 there, I'm going to let you take one out, Sean. So you want to take out the 6, the 1, the 3, or the 2? You want to take the 2 out in the third leg?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to take the 2 out. That would put us at $90. I don't know if we can add anywhere else.
Maybe you can add a little bit in this other leg. See if you can add it. No, you can't add one in a fourth. Maybe you can add a 4th horse. See if you can. No, because that'll be the same thing.
It would have to be the one that we already have a ton of coverage. And even if I do that, say you add a horse, it picks it up to 108.
Well, we can't do that. So there we go. So our pick 5, Sean, is, let me type this up while I'm doing it. So we'll have it on here and then we'll leave it on there. Our pick 5. Our pick 5 is EICK 5. This is the Fly 5. Sean, we have the 2 and the 9 with the 2, 3. And let me know if I say something wrong along the way.
Yep,
2,
I'm watching you.
3, 6, 10, and 12.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
With the 1, the 3, and the 6, right?
Yep.
With the 7, the 12, and the 13. With the 4 and the 5. Is that right?
That is correct. $90 cost.
There you go. There's a $90 pick 4 that Sean and I did. The Fly 5. We never did a Fly 5 before. We have to do Fly 4s all the time. 2 9. So let's hope that Dr. Shivel wins, and then we get the longest shots across the board all the way home. And then we can close this one out with a nice end to the Saturday Breeders' Cup as we then move into winter time for horse racing and just in general up here in the north.
The only thing that works against us in pick 5 and anybody in the pick 5 is really the 2 races that you're going to have big favorites are on each end of it.
Yeah, because if you don't win one of them, then you're really out of SOL, right?
Yeah, but it also, most people are starting it with at least the 2-9. Definitely Jackie's Warrior, and then a lot of people are ending it Nick's Go and Essential Quality. So it hurts.
So you got to hit in that middle for sure. Yeah. So if you were going to pick against in this race right here, Sean, so if you're going to go against Dr. Schivel and Jackie's Warrior, who would you take?
See, I had a hard time doing that, and that's why I felt good with the 2-9.
I'm asking you to pick one.
Just maybe number 5, Aloha West.
So you would go with Aloha West?
Yeah.
I would go with number 8, Special Reserve. 11 of 13 in the money at the distance. Horses run fairly well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that horse find its way towards the front at the end of the race. The question is, can anybody pass a tiring Jackie's Warrior or a Dr. Schivel who should be coming on at the end?
So if somebody beats us, it's going to be an Ortiz.
Yeah, probably. Right. We'll never invite Jose on the show again. All right, Sean. Well, good luck. Let's see if we can knock this one out. We'll be back when the race is over. We'll talk about it. And Sean and I will either be sighing a relief that we've won and advanced, or we'll be like, "God damn it, it's over already."
Yeah, and my pick 4s comes down
still
to
alive, the 2 and 9. Yes,
yeah. So it's all 2 or 9.
Yes, indeed. We're living and dying on Dr. Schivel and the Jackie's Warrior. So hopefully it's Dr. Schivel. That again, Dean and Patty Reeves have been good friends to the horse racing Radar TV, and we hope they're the owners of Dr. Schivel. I want them to win, not only for our bet, Sean, but for Dean and Patty. Really great people. All right, Sean, see you in a few minutes when this one goes to the finish line. Talk about it then.
Okay.
I feel like I jinxed us, Sean.
Yeah, that was gut wrenching all the way around because I did give the 5 out as the one, and I even tried. As you texted me, the 5 looked too sweaty. Right, I was in the middle of putting an exacta, and it closed me out because they were off, and I have DirecTV and a little delayed. So I would have had it. It's gonna be like $100 exacta. I would have got like
the exacta
$50.
paid, for $2 it paid. $1 was $49.60.
Yeah, so I should have had that. It would have been a $4 bet. I was gonna put 4 horses behind the 5 because I started convincing myself just in case this is a hot pace, and man, it was. And you could see there at the end. I was really worried. Dr. Shivel, he made the move a little early too, and the 5 just kept coming. And then they showed that other angle. I don't know which broadcast you're watching, but they showed that other angle where it looked like the 9 got its head down, but it wasn't right on the wire. But watching it live, you could tell the 5 got it.
How disappointing can you be?
Yeah.
I thought the 9 had it, Sean, but unfortunately he didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
Ugh, that's
And
sad.
that was our chance at a lot of there was a lot of money invested on Jackie's Warrior there. So whew.
Yeah, I mean, that was a chance. And the thing is, I felt like we had it there until the very. How come I never win those head bobs, Sean? When there's a head bob like that, I'm always on the back end of it. And I don't understand how that works in the universe.
Well, it's also like when you have 2 horses like that, I feel like it's 98% of the time the outside horse gets it for whatever reason.
It usually does. Because they say the best horse goes wide. So in my picks that I had Dr. Shivel, I had Jackie's Warrior, obviously. I mentioned Special Reserve. I had Following Sea. I had Aloha West. I just didn't have them in the right order. And that's another thing that drives me absolutely bananas. I also had CZ Rocket in there. I don't know if he ever showed anything at the end of the race there, but no, I don't think that he did. But that just enough to drive a dude absolutely out of his mind crazy. You know what I mean? You have them all and just not in the right order. And I figured I had Jackie Warrior getting beat, and it just irks me, Sean, not to have it right.
Yeah, I mean, if we would have went 3 deep, or I would have went 3 deep on my 4. I would have went 3 deep. The 5 would have been the third one, but it's just all cost, and you don't know, if you're going to be alive or not, or if it's just adding more money to the pool for free. Yeah,
other people.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's 4 races to go, Sean. What do you got planned for the rest of this day?
I think I got to go upstairs in a little bit. I might be able to stick around for one more race.
All right, we'll do one more race, and then we'll throw we'll throw our picks out there for next race. I mean, I hate when you sniff and then you're so close and then it doesn't come through, because I mean, if you think about it, so let's just go back, rewind for 1 second. We said that you liked, we both liked Dr. Shivel. You said throw the 5 in there if the 5 is going to beat him. I said the 8 horse. The only one else in there was the 1 horse Following Sea, which I did have as well. So, I mean, we could have easily had not only the exacta, the trifecta, the superfecta, the whole the whole thing. Superfecta for a dime paid $143.27.
Wow. Yeah.
So Gamine and Jackie's Warrior are pulling off what they pulled off today. What do you think the storyline is going to be about that?
Well, we know where the storyline will be about that.
Yes, it's unfortunate, but it's probably where it's going to go. All right, Sean. So we'll be back 20 minutes before the next race, and then we'll go ahead and knock that out. And then you can get on upstairs to do whatever it is you need to do, and then we'll wrap up the day.
Need to take care of a 3-year-old, have some dinner, stuff like that. Still
live
watch
life.
The race. Yeah, yeah.
Live life and enjoy the last 4 races of the Breeders' Cup without watching your horse just get head bobbed at the end and killing a pick 4 ticket. That just drives me nuts.
Yep. Especially now we're gonna get a price in race 9.
Oh yeah, for sure. The longest shot that you had. Absolutely going to win. The 12 horse is going to come home and make it look easy.
Yeah.
So, what can you do? All right, Sean, I'll see you 20 minutes for the next race, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay. All
right, my man. See you in a few minutes.
See ya.
Oh, man. So close. Wow. Feel like we have a very tough race here again, Sean.
Yeah.
Did you play a pick four, or are you all done for the day?
No, I of course I did.
Okay, well, that's good. I did too. I took all the money I had left in my account for the pick four here, and then I just went my top four over my top four over my top three over my top four, hoping that I catch a price along the way. And then if I were to hit that pick four, I would go home a winner on the weekend. Otherwise, I'd be down a little bit of money. And that's the problem when you bet. Normally, I try to do like, and I lose my discipline late in the thing. I usually like to do like $6 to $9 trifectas and try to hit them. But today, I just like at the end, I'm like, you know what? This is the last race Sean and I are going to do. I'm going to close it down and go sit down. Like you said, it's my daughter's birthday, so I got to spend a little time with her. Got some family coming over to watch the fights tonight, so I got to get prepped for that. So I figured, what the heck? I'll throw a pick four in there, sit up on the couch, watch the races, and see if I can come home a winner and shout for joy. So let's get started in race number 11, the Breeders' Cup Turf Grade 1. Sean, let's talk about the first horse, Rock Emperor. How does Rock Emperor follow up its last win with another? Where it beat Gufo, by the way.
Where are we at Rock Emperor?
Am I on the wrong race?
We're Masters of the Seas is number one.
Oh, okay, yes. Master of the Seas did not race against Rock Emperor last time. This is the one with Space Blues. Yes, indeed. All right, so wow, I'm like on race number. I'm all ready to get out of here. I'm on the second to last race of the day. All right, so let's start with you. Start with the first horse. What do you think about it?
I'm gonna throw him out. It's a Charlie Appleby horse, though, so a little dangerous there. Buick's a good, or Doyle. Buick's been on this horse. One I had to throw out, but one has a shot.
Absolutely has a shot. Just missed against Poetic Flair, who is a very good horse. Baid last time out, Palace Pier, all very good horses. But that was one of those Sean races. Like, I don't get it. Why? So he lost by 7, not even close. And I agree with you on that. But the race before that, 2 races before that against Poetic Flair, really ran very well. Smooth Like Straight. Sean likes Smooth Like Straight, although he hasn't been able to get to the better side of Mo Frenza, and Mo Frenza has passed him both times late at a mile, Sean. So I'm not sure that this is a mile too. So maybe he can hold him off this time, but the last 2 times has been passed late and then there's another one in here too that it couldn't hold off late as well. So its question is, can it hold off horses that it hasn't been able to hold off before?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to the pace. I mean, but this horse is going to go for the lead whether they like it or not. It's just a matter of how fast. And this horse always seems to hang around. So this for 13-1, this is a good horse to like key all. Hopefully hit the exacta at 13-1, and you're going to get a good exacta.
Yeah, well, if you go all over to 2 and then 2 over to all,
oh yeah,
and then you hope that this is the race where you get the 60 to 70 to 1 shot on top, right? And then that your horse comes home second
and doesn't get beat by the head.
Yes, that hurts. Okay, so Space Blues. Charles Appleby said this is his horse to win at this particular meet. Won its 2 in a row. Last time out, it faced Pearls Galore, a horse I like a little bit farther down on the ticket as well. Has won 2 in a row, one on heavy, one on good. The horse has run. This is the one thing that worries me a little bit. Extravagant Kid, a horse we saw run a little bit earlier that didn't show at all, lost to Extravagant Kid 4 races back, and it wasn't close. So hey, who am I to argue against Godolphin, William Buick, and Charles Appleby? But that race does concern me a little bit.
Yeah, it could, but his horse is going to be tough. So it's going to be hard to take a low price in a field this wide open, though.
But you kind of got to if you like this horse.
Yeah, I mean, definitely on the pick 4 ticket. Put it that way.
Yes. At the end, you can disclose your pick 4, and I'll disclose mine, Sean.
Okay.
Number 4, Raging Bull. I remember when this horse used to be one you had to have on your ticket. It's kind of one that you're almost overlooking here. And is that a mistake?
It might be. This was one when I was filling out, taking almost every horse in this race. I definitely added it. Now that I had to cut back a little bit, didn't quite make the cut.
Yes, for that 9 crimping your budget, Sean.
Yeah. So it's
crimp mine too.
Yeah, it's It's on the fringe. It's on the fringe. It definitely wouldn't completely shock me. But it's
that last race,
a little bit.
If you look at that Woodbine race, it was 10th in the stretch. It finished 3rd. There wasn't a lot of lengths to make up, but there's still a lot of horses to pass in a very short order like that. So that's a little bit concerning to me. I'm not a big fan of the Woodbine, though, to somewhere else saying it just doesn't seem to play out. Maybe the Florida, for whatever reason, the Woodbine horses down the Gulf Stream seem to work, but not anywhere else.
Yeah, and see, I don't know, what are we talking now? Probably 15 years ago, it was always a thing, horses at Woodbine, they could travel anywhere because you got tough horses at Woodbine. But yeah, I do see that tide changing.
Vindigard. This horse is coming in, and oh no, a Japanese horse, man. That got me a little earlier in the day, Sean. Was my 5th pick. I hate when my 5th pick beats me, especially when you're doing like exacta boxes and stuff like that. So you have horses won 5 out of 13, but only 1 out of its last 8.
Yeah, this was a toss for me. I couldn't find anything to grab onto, and there's plenty of other horses that I have stuff with. So this is just one. If it's going to beat me, it's going to beat me. There's
not going to be 2 Japanese horses today, just 1?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, if they get 2, wow, they're going to be really.
Well, here you go. Here's Mo Forza, Sean. Flavien Prat probably not happy about that nose at the end of the last race there. I thought he had it. I wish he had it. But he has done well at Del Mar on this horse. 3 wins, 2 seconds, 6 starts. Done great at the distance. 6 wins in 8 races. This looks like an absolute miler. It's the classic 3rd time off a start. The last time the horse had a 3-race cycle, Sean, that 3rd race was by far the best race. This horse is beaten Smooth Like Straight, like I mentioned, a couple in a row, and passed him late. So you think he's going to do it again?
He might. I mean, I like Smooth Like Straight, so I got to like this horse too. And honestly, I would take this horse at a smaller price than the 3, but that's just because I know more about him.
Well, they're both exactly the same price, 5-2 at the moment. So
yeah,
they're probably your 2. I mean, well, we've had a lot of upsets. Why can't we have another one? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I'm hoping they get a shot in here. Number 7, In Love. We had a Love named horse, not the one I expected to win, was the other In Love, or whatever that horse name was. Can we get some more love today?
Maybe. I mean, this horse, 2 for 3 at the distance. It's won its last 3 races.
In each race, it saw its speed figure go up.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good things to like here. So this is definitely one in a price I think has a shot.
Yeah, maybe has a shot. The only thing I'm worried about a little bit is the coming from basically the Midwest to California. Again, I look back on Trevor McCarthy letting us know, and I can't think of too many East Coast horses that have won today. Can you?
No, and they don't usually perform too well, going out west like that.
Mm-hmm. So I don't. They got the Japanese. That's probably the farthest east horse that won, right? And then you had a couple of, but for the most part, they've been West Coast horses, right? The last horse, where was Aloha West from?
Well, let me.
Meantime,
Keeneland, Saratoga, Churchill. Yeah, so
there was your Midwest horse right there.
Yeah. So same kind of thing.
Same kind of connections. Yep. Hit the road. Sean been hit the track at Del Mar 4 times. Had a couple of wins. Hit the distance 11 times. A dozen wins. Scratched. Good. Because I was about to bet him. Mother Earth. This horse had a while ago. It would have been one that I would definitely been thinking about. A horse definitely has faced some of the best company over in Europe. It has run well on a soft track. It has a couple good runs on a good track, but it concerns me that the horse is seemingly out of form right now. Although you have Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore, is this maybe going to be the European horse that kind of people were overlooking for some of the more favorite types like Love, and then surprise everybody?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I mean, it's possible. What is he now? He's about 7-1, 8-1, still kind of where the morning line is. Probably too low for a horse that seems to be out of form.
It does look to be out of form, but the question is it out of form, or was it just facing some great horses? Because Baid is a great horse. Palace Pier is a very good horse. Lady Bowthorpe is a good horse. So it's faced some pretty good. Saffron Beach, the race before that, not really heard of it. No Speak Alexander, lost to Pearls Galore. Snow Lantern is a good horse, alcohol free. So it's faced some really, really good horses this year. Blowout, Sean. This is a horse that was a morning line 8-1. That's now up to 13-1. Doesn't look like anybody thinks Blowout has a chance to get to the lead and then take that lead from beginning to end.
Yeah, and that's because of Smooth Lake Straight, I would imagine. But I think
but when I ran those, early pace numbers, Sean, they really weren't close. Because if you look at Blowout's numbers, if you can hear, I'll pull them up on the screen real quick, and then we'll go back. But if you look at these early pace numbers, you have 107, 113, 95, 105, 102, 106, 110, 112, 93, 91 here. Probably didn't have to really run against maybe a less quality field. Those are some pretty stellar numbers. And then if you rewind back here to Smooth Lake Straight, remember we were up around 90 in the hundreds, close to 100. Now you have 81, 94. This last race definitely fits. 94, 15, 84, 88, 102, 89. That's the exception, not the rule. Blowouts numbers in the upper 90s and the hundreds in that second furlong marker are the rule. I think Blowout's going to have a good length lead on Smooth Lake Straight, maybe more. And if he can, and then run, but it looks like Crazy Fractions are holding up except for everybody for Gamine and Jackie's Warrior. Maybe the Crazy Fractions hold up again.
Possibly. I mean, it's definitely one I'm not dismissing completely.
I'm not dismissing it completely. I actually have it in my pick 4. I'm hoping Blowout at 13-1.
Yeah, I have
it out there and smokes them, baby. Come on, Blowout, blow them out. And Joel Rosario, big race Joel, baby. Come on.
Actually, this is a horse I actually did a pick 4, and I overlooked him, and I actually canceled it to add him back in it. So that's how much.
Oh no, Sean. I'm going to cancel mine. Okay, Got Stormy, the horse. You know, a couple of races back, I said Got Stormy looks kind of old. When I said that, he came back to beat me at the 4-star Dave at Saratoga. And then the next race, he came back and he looked kind of old. So am I going to get beat by, is he going to show up? Or is he going to be the old Got Stormy? I don't know, Sean. I'm afraid to bet on him. I'm afraid to bet against him.
Yeah. It's one that didn't make the cut for me. So I'm hoping he doesn't show up today, but it's one I definitely kept looking at going, there's a chance this is the horse that can beat me. But it's
a good chance too. Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. And it seems like the mile is the one where it does show up, right? 6 furlongs. It looks like the sprints is where it does look like an old man, but when it goes long, it looks like a spring chicken.
Yeah. And
so that's a little worrisome.
6 furlongs, then a mile, and 6 furlongs, now back to the mile again. So, yeah.
Yes, I don't know, Marquez. I mean, I'd never invite him on the show if he beats me here. All right, so if you like Space Blues, Sean, you got to like Pearls Galore. We talked about that before. That race, though, when I look at that race, what I see in there was on a heavy track. So, and if you look at Pearls Galore history on the softer tracks and the not firm or good tracks, it doesn't run as well as it does on a fast track. So, I'm hoping that a little better surface for Pearls Galore can get me a nice price in here, Sean, because I think even at the morning line, 12-1, at 22-1, this horse is a layoff. In my opinion, it's an overlay. This horse will run better than 22-1.
Yeah, most likely. This was a horse that I kept looking at, and I think I left off on one of my tickets, the pick 4 before. But after talking to you, I did add it in. So,
no.
Oh, no. So you made a good argument.
No.
So you gotta stop telling me these things because you made a good argument.
I'm gonna lie about him from now on. That horse sucks, Sean. It has no chance. So.
But I do like Space Blues. So
no, I hope the horse wins. I mean, I want us both to win. I'm only kidding, of course, Sean. I think the horse. I mean, it ran right behind Space Blues.
Yeah, that's
on a heavy course. And again, the horse seems to prefer. You look back on a good course. It finished second by a neck. The one before that, it won by 1 3/4 lengths. The one before that, it won by 2. And then after a pretty extensive layoff, it came back and maybe needed a race. So. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's the horse for us, Sean. Casa Creed, this is a horse, man. I know this horse. I've bet this horse and made money on this horse many times.
Yeah, this is only his 23rd start, and I swear to you, it feels like this horse has been around like 80 starts. Like
yes, forever.
Yeah, and this horse has won at big prices before too. So didn't make.
I'm worried about it, but I didn't take him.
Yeah, same for me. I mean. I want to say I can't even say his class does it because he's always in these big races. He doesn't always fit and doesn't always perform, but he's always there. So,
Yeah, I saw a lot of love for Ivar too earlier in the day from a lot of the prognosticators. It seemed like Ivar was a horse a lot of people liked. Another horse from the international talent that's odds have gone way up from 12 to 1 to 30 to 1.
Yeah, another one. I don't know really what to make of it. It could win. There's just too many horses in here that are on that.
Well, wouldn't Joe Talamo be happy to go back to California, get a big win against some of the people back there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think Ivar has a chance, but just looking at some of the other international horses, I preferred them over Ivar. Ivar has been close. It's been over here. And it seems to me, I mean, the last race was an improvement from the previous start, which is a good thing, but it just seems to me like it hasn't been facing some of the better quality here. And then when it did run against like a Smooth Like Straight, it ended up getting beat pretty badly. So I feel like Smooth Like Straight to me is probably my picks, the fourth or fifth selection that has to make Ivar the seventh or eighth selection, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the 15, Sean, it looks like the 15 scratches in at 50 to 1. Real Appeal was 15 to 1 morning line. You're getting a ton of overlays on some of these horses overseas. This one ran on a good track last time out. Actually, 2-3 races back, beat My Pearls Galore, Sean. So I'm, this horse has run good on on a good track.
Yeah, it's still in. So yeah, I feel like this is one of those horses too. It kind of hides, people not even seeing that this horse is in there. Definitely has a better chance than the 50.
And it just got gelded too. So I mean, that first time gelded is an angle a lot of people like to play. And again, when you look at to me, Sean, this is a horse that's probably worth putting $4 or $5 on it to win. Because I think it has as good a chance as any of the international horses. And hitting a horse at 50 to 1, you putting $4 on him, you get $200 back, right?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No,
probably more than the exacta or trifecta. Well, if it wins, then the trifecta and the exacta will pay a lot more than that. But if it doesn't win and it goes favorite, and then like fifth favorite or something like that, it would pay more than that trifecta would.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. So now why don't you roll out your pick 4 ticket? I'll roll out mine, and then
I lie. I'll make you feel better. The 12 didn't make the cut on my pick 4. Just budget loss.
Yes. I only kid Sean because he's done really well today. He picked Aloha West. I picked the other one that finished third. So
you know what stinks about Aloha West is I got my thing going on with DRF. TVG has a money back special. I put the $10 on Dr. Shovel on the money back special, and I definitely should have put it on the 5.
You should have because of the odds. It makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense. See, that's my problem. I don't always go by the odds. I go by the better chances of winning, but you should go by the odds.
Yeah, because you're going to get your money back. So what?
Plus, I was covered with the 2 and 9 with our
elsewhere.
Yeah, so it was a complete blunder, and this happens way too much.
Yeah, because I think what happens, Sean, is I really think what you got to do is you got to kind of sit down the night before and then like plan everything out, right? So you can think about it. And you're not in the moment making decisions in the moment. Yep. which is where you can get hurt. Okay, so in race 9, I'm going 3, 6, 10, and 12. In race number 10, Sean, I'm going to go 1, 3, 6, and 8. In race number 11, Sean, I'm going to go 7, 12, and 13. I hope I didn't mess that up. And then in the final leg, I'm going 3, 4, 5, and 8. And I'm hoping to go price.
Okay, so to start it off, I got 2, 3, 6, 7, 10. Then I got 2, 3, 6, 7, 11, 12, and 13. And then,
my Lord, I thought you said you had no budget.
No, I didn't say I had no budget. I just had to cut it. And then I went Essential Quality and Knicks Go. It was a $60 pick.
Oh, yours was 60. Mine was 96. So my budget was 50%. How about busting your chops? What are you talking about? No budget.
Yeah. See, I would have added the 12 for $96,
Well, you should have did it. Then when the 12
and
comes
I have
home.
more money in there too, but I don't want to blow it all on this pick 4 and pick 5. We see just takes a head to be that's the thing with
to be disappointed, baby.
Oh my God.
Yes. Well, I'm feeling like we're going to go home and win it, Sean. It's been fun working these 3.5 hours with you, my man.
Absolutely.
I'm like I said, it's the daughter's birthday, folks, so I got to go spend a little bit of time with the missus and my lovely, beautiful daughter. Smart as well, very smart, wonderful child. And then we're going to watch some fights with some family. Kobe Covington versus Usman. That should be a great fight. There's another one on tonight too. Canelo versus Caleb Plant. Canelo, too much power for a light hitting, pillow-handed Caleb Plant. So Canelo wins that one easily. I'm going to put a little bit of money, Sean, on if I can open up my FanDuel account, because I'm very upset with DraftKings today for telling me I'm in Tennessee when I'm clearly in my dungeon, as I'm always. And I'm going to try to open up a FanDuel account, and hopefully I'm going to put a little bit of money on Colby Covington, hopefully hit this pick 4, and then sit back and have a diet Mountain Dew, and go to bed.
Yeah, and then we got NFL tomorrow.
Ooh, just never ends, does it?
Happy birthday to your daughter.
Thank you, sir. Everybody have a fantastic day, a fantastic Saturday night. Go Colby. Good luck with everybody with your final pick 4s. May the rest of your tickets today at this Breeders' Cup, Sean, be winners.
Have a good one.